I was going to say, I spent a lot of time in Iowa. I don't know why I keep going back to Iowa. I would like to go to an Iowa game, though.
You want to wait for those
Iowa?
kids?
That's where baseball. You did some baseball in Iowa.
Oh, yeah. So Red Oak, Iowa was kind of the city we were in, but we were through Council Bluffs and went into Omaha and things like that. But I wasn't blown away with the city. It's just those atmospheres look good on camera for whatever reason.
I'm with Scott, though. If you're going to give me one game this year, I'm going to go to Ohio State at Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
And go experience Allison.
Good Big Ten blue blood.
Oregon.
Yes,
A long-time Big Ten matchup there.
Nothing feels like Big Ten football than going to Oregon.
But, I remember specifically Tennessee fans calling our show Dunaway after they went, and they were like, I was a doubter, because I think this goes back to the Dunaway and Brown days when Tennessee went out there. We weren't even Lance yet. And I specifically remember a couple of Tennessee fans calling our show on the old Jocks, and they were like, listen, I was a doubter. That stadium's legit. It is loud. It's like an SEC atmosphere.
I really believe it was our first year together.
Could have been. I don't know.
Because I think that's how we got into the Oregon cheerleading debate. Because my Tennessee friends had gone out there, and all their 13-year-old sons wanted to do was take their picture with the Oregon cheerleaders. I said, you should get those boys to the West Coast more often. That's our show today. Don't forget all the stuff, all the other content we have. Disrupt the Media. Go like and follow on that YouTube channel. Do that here and subscribe as well. We appreciate you guys so much for being with us. Thanks to Emily Grace for being on the road on campus all week at UAB earlier today. If you missed that hit, you can go back at the start of the show. Here is every show we've ever done. All 752 are available for you right here on YouTube. Thanks for Little T working hard last night on the recruiting side of things. As Auburn picked up another recruit, Alabama picked up one for 2027 earlier today. Moody's Barack Willis picking the Tide, at least for now. 2027 is a long time away. We're not too long till we're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
EG on campus at Alabama in segment number 2 as the Tide in about 5 minutes starts their first official camp. Not spring, they did it in the spring, but official fall camp under Kalen DeBoer. We'll talk about that coming up throughout the day. A lot of college football and NFL camps. Now, what are we, LT? Just a little over 24 hours from our first exhibition game?
Back it up 10 hours, so 34 hours out,
Yeah, from football, American football on the field again.
Can't wait.
So we get to that crazy trade deadline. We'll talk about some point through the show and some Olympics later on. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar with his Black Jacket Symphony T-shirt on. Right there.
He does not have his Black Jacket Symphony voice, though.
No, it's been a run. I got the house sick too.
Oh, good. That's the way it normally goes. When's your next show?
Labor Day weekend, so we're fine.
Oh,
I mean, technically it's Friday in the Floribama Lounge, but I mean, other than that, yeah.
Well, I'll have to do some Johnny Cash.
I'm all for that. I love the man.
Have you guys
either that or Melissa Etheridge?
Boy, she's looking rough. She always is on Good Morning Football for whatever reason.
I know.
Have you guys ever been blamed for getting somebody sick?
Yep, 100%. And I think Dunaway's blamed me for getting him sick before.
No. My biggest fear up here is always if I get a stomach virus or anything, I'm always like, God, please don't let Lance or Brown catch the stomach virus from me because I don't want to hear it.
I'm pretty certain I gave Lance COVID, so I've owned that one.
And I never said anything about it, did I?
No, you never brought it up, but you would agree. But I didn't know I had it to my defense. I had no clue. Yeah.
I was talking to one of our friends that's got COVID today. I didn't know it was still a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
As soon as I say that, I'll get it.
Apparently, this thread has some nausea and diarrhea in it, which may be what I had last week.
He is not. I mean, he's struggling right now. With all that said, I asked him, where'd you get it? And he was like, I got no idea. Because normally he can pinpoint.
I do like that, though, but you can't prove that. It's like, oh, you got the stomach virus. Where'd you get it? Well, I really don't know. I go a lot of places.
It was Joe from the deli.
I mean,
no, but if you're in a relationship and your significant other is blaming you for getting them sick,
well, yeah,
that's probably that's a sign of the times.
That's right there in the wedding vows that Dunaway took 25 years ago today.
26 years ago today.
Happy anniversary to you and Maggie.
Yeah, and just to show you our relationship, because LT brings it up all the time.
Where's she?
I'll save it for later.
Did she remember it?
I'll save it for later. I'll send it to. I'll send it to Forrester. We'll pull up the text that she sent my mom this morning.
Okay.
I think this running joke is
Jim while I'm out of town.
It's funny because I was talking to somebody yesterday and they were like, "Does Dunaway's wife really hate him?" I was like, "No, I don't think so." But
Lance,
come on, Lance.
Maggie loves him.
Come on, Lance. You know that's not true.
I mean, I haven't seen your wife in a year, but. She's not Laurel. She's not going to roll up here with cookies.
Yeah. We probably should do Is she alive? We don't know.
Will she be at the kickoff party August 15th? She always comes to the kickoff party.
She always comes to the kickoff party.
But is she going to be at Duke then?
I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah. I don't. I know she's doing finals this week.
They have Zoom capabilities at Walk-On?
She's doing finals this week, and we're celebrating our anniversary this weekend. We'll be down at the Point. There's a little picture of our wedding day 26 years ago. Wedding night 26 years ago.
No, not the night.
Yep. So
just the day.
Well, that was it. It was nighttime.
Oh, y'all got married at night.
Yeah.
That looks like the
outside July 31st in the South.
I've been in a few weddings there. What is that place called in Southside?
Is it the Donnelly House?
The Donnelly House, yeah.
The Donnelly House. That's where we did it.
That's a beautiful setting.
Thank you. We had cicadas who were out that night.
I love cicadas. I love the sound of cicadas.
My buddy Carl and his family run that. I had no idea until the last wedding I was in. Cameron's, I think it was 2019.
Did they run it back then too?
I don't know. I hadn't seen the guy in forever. He played at UAB. Big dude, 6'6".
So you were
Lunceford says Maggie looks exactly the same, and Dunaway's in the picture too.
Maggie does look the same. You were strong into 13 by then, right? Were you the main guy at 13 and Ken retired?
No, I was still number 2. I was doing the 10 o'clock news, but Ken Lass, he helped me a lot when I was a single young man, stay on a good path to eventually find a wife.
Was he in the wedding?
He was not in the wedding, but he was there that night. Jerry Tracy, who just retired, was there that night. I don't know who else was there that night.
Did you do it at night so they could come and then go to the 10 o'clock news, or is that a weekend?
I feel like we got married on a Friday night.
Yeah. Jerry Tracy had to scramble back to do the weather.
I feel like, either Friday or Saturday night. I can't remember. I think it was a Friday night because it was sort of an odd night. But I'll show you the text when Forrester gets it that Maggie sent my mom this morning.
Oh, sent your mom. Okay.
But she's at finals at Duke, and we're going to celebrate this weekend down at the Grand Hotel, one of our favorite places, down at the Point Clear, I think it's called.
Do they do fireworks every weekend there?
They do it's like a Barons game every Friday night.
Every home game? Yeah. Because I've heard the fireworks there.
Oh, it's amazing.
Because you just sit out back of the hotel. I'm not a big fireworks guy,
but
if you just had to walk out the back of your hotel and sit at the pool and watch them, it'd be nice.
I will tell you, we were there for, I think it was a July 4th one time, and on the back at the very point of Alabama, they have a big American flagpole, and we laid on the grass with some cocktails, and just the fireworks go up right above your head. It was pretty amazing with the flag right there, the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah. God bless America.
I've only stayed there one time, and it was our buddy Cole Kubelik's wedding, but that was forever ago.
Cole got married at the Grand?
Yeah, I want to say it was a decade ago, probably.
Oh, I
know I was in a Ram truck, so maybe it wasn't. Well, I do remember that.
That is a decade ago, though.
You've been married for 9,496 days.
Who has?
You.
Wow.
It was a Friday.
Hey, how many days you been on the couch?
Okay, here's the text. This is my wife to my mom today on our 26th anniversary. Who else is surprised we made it this far?
That's pretty good.
Her dad is.
7:34 a.m. this morning. Who else is surprised we made it this far?
That is hilarious.
Hallmark, where are you right there? That should be in the card, right?
That's a great photo of her. Is that her in the student section at Cameron Indoor?
That is her first official Duke basketball game.
Wow.
And right now she is working on trying to get tickets to the Auburn game.
Auburn Duke?
Yeah, as a student. And
is she going to wear orange and blue or the Duke blue?
Truthfully, you know what she said? This will take 10 seconds to get into the room. She goes, obviously, you probably would go that night to watch Alabama play North Carolina. Do you think little T would want to go to the game with me?
The answer is yes. And you don't have to wait 10 seconds for her to get in the other room.
She would absolutely. Yes. So we'll see if she wins the lottery.
Better question, is she going to any Duke football games this year?
She's going to sit in the Devil's deck?
Well,
you got Florida State at home. I'm looking at this. SMU at home.
That's a pretty good home schedule so far.
She's not up there full time.
Well, I know.
What's happening in the week 1 for Duke?
They got Elon.
That's
a win. You can stay on watching on the ACC network.
Yeah, that's a win on the bright side.
Taylor says, yes, Maggie. She would be glad to sit in the...
I could have answered that.
But I'm telling you, I don't think you can wear Auburn gear in the Duke student section. That's the problem when you get those seats.
I bet the Duke student section is softened post-Coach K. I bet it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, I bet it is softer.
Yeah.
I bet it's still pretty good, though.
You don't want them doing this to you. You're sitting there a little
You don't. No, especially if you're behind.
I don't know, though. Malik Murphy, those tickets are probably tough, right?
When's the Devil's Deck open for football we talked about yesterday? Is that this season?
Yeah,
Are they doing Devil's Deck this season?
Real easy to just snap those 5,000 seats out at Wallace Wade Stadium and put the Devil's Deck in.
Lace them
Can you bump the tuition by $250 and get
season
Devil's
tickets?
Deck? Yeah.
That's where I want to sit. If I'm going to go to a Duke game, I want to be on the Devil's Deck. The Devil's Deck.
26 years. Happy anniversary, Maggie, if you're watching. You probably were watching if this was our 12th anniversary, 26 years. She's probably doing something else today. But we'll jump into all of our sports news right after I tell you about our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. You talk about a couple that have been together a long time, the Nelsons, locally owned Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg and his lovely wife, they run this company, and they do so much to help you, the viewer and the listener, out. All you have to do, man, is jump right into the chat room and ask anybody, have you ever used Greg from Pell City Storm Restoration Roofing? You'll get people who just rave about his customer service. 20 years locally owned, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. And here is what Greg can do for you. He gives you a free, no-cost roof inspection, gets on your roof, even when it's 105 heat index, gets out there and checks that roof out for you. It's free, no obligation. So many times he comes down and says, man, you don't need a new roof. You got 4 more years on this. Take your wife to dinner tonight, save a little money. But 4 years from now, if you want to call me back and replace the roof, we'll absolutely do that for you. He replaces old roofs. He handles storm damage and anything up there. Call him up. Get that roof inspected for free. 205-542-3531, 542-3531, or look him up on Facebook, Greg from Pell City. We'll talk to Emily Grace McWhorter, who is live at Alabama camp as we speak right now. She's out on the field. She'll jump outside the football complex because she can't go live inside where the practice is happening. And she will join us in the next segment. So we'll check in to see what she saw in the 30-minute viewing period and get some thoughts she has on Alabama football. But for you guys, as we start off this camp, we'll talk about quarterback battles around college football and the SEC, or the lack thereof, coming up a little bit later on in the show today. But there's no quarterback battle. What is a storyline for you with Alabama?
Well, I was thinking about this earlier. You know, it is kind of, last year was the outlier where you had kind of uncertainty coming into the season
at quarterback.
With quarterback, yeah, and even through the month of September, you know, Alabama fans are like, what the hell is this? You know, we're used to elite quarterback play, and then you got elite quarterback play. And I think going into the season, I think when you look at position groups, that's one of the most confident you are in right now if you're an Alabama fan. I think, based on the fact that Kalen DeBoer has been so good with his quarterbacks, and just the way Jalen Milroe not only looked down the stretch last year, but his attitude. And he just, I don't know, this kid seems ultra confident.
Like, you hear a lot of people talk about last year's maturation of Jalen Milroe from the Texas game to basically the SEC championship game. Now, the reason I say that is because he didn't have his best game against Michigan. Alabama's entire offense didn't.
Yeah.
But you could see the maturation of him. He really went from a liability for Alabama to a weapon for Alabama. I mean, it was crazy to watch. But I think he's only in that maturation period. I don't think it's over, because I do think he's going to mature a lot under Kalen DeBoer. I think he's going to get the best offensive coaching he has ever had under Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, I think he scratched maybe 65% of his ability. And I look back, I was listening to some guys talk about Tua Tagovailoa, and they were saying the same thing. Like, we don't think Tua, like in Mike McDaniel's offense, he hasn't even gotten to his potential.
I would agree with that. And I think, it's true of a lot of quarterbacks, but I think when you have a coaching change is significant, and that's what helped Tua, right? He went from Brian Flores, who was a defensive guy, never had great offensive coaching, to Mike McDaniel, who's an innovative offensive guy, puts him in a position to look better by some of the plays he calls. Miami gives him weapons to look better. I don't know that Milroe, that his weapons have improved tremendously. Maybe so. We'll see what Ryan Williams is. A lot of people think he can contribute day one and be a weapon for Alabama.
If you just have one great weapon, that could make the others a little bit freer to make plays. Free up some space for the other guys who may not be the one superstar.
Yeah, the last time they played for a national championship, 21, Jameson Williams was that guy.
That is correct.
And then John Mechie was so good underneath, he was able to complement him. I don't know if you've got that. I think that is, to me, still the biggest question mark. Offensive line, running backs, quarterback, you're fine. I think they can probably score with anybody. But then you flip it around. Do you have an edge rusher? How many holes are in that secondary? I mean, there are a lot of questions with this Alabama team, but I just believe with all the talent and how good Kalen DeBoer is, I think they're going to be fine.
And we said this on the show last year, that if you had Milroe's confidence, Tommy Rees's maturity level of knowing what he had in Milroe that you got at the end of October in that Texas game, Alabama probably beats Texas in that game the way they played in that game. Texas won. Texas was one of the best teams in the country.
You know what? It didn't matter,
but
though.
Milroe threw that late interception. That he just didn't make those kind of mistakes later on, and he ran the ball better later on, and he was hesitant to run the ball.
That's right.
In that game.
The only repercussions of that game were Texas got into the college football playoff because of that win.
Yeah.
Because they lost to Oklahoma in the regular season. They had to have that.
That was really it.
And then the other thing would be, Jalen Milroe. And I lost my train of thought.
Well, no, I think the other repercussion
the next week.
I think, that's true. Yeah, he would have started against South Florida, which ultimately didn't matter.
Yeah.
I think the other repercussion was Alabama had to play the remainder of that season with absolutely zero margin for error, but I think that actually made them a better team.
Oh, and also made Texas's fan base super confident coming into the league this year.
100%.
That is true. So,
100%.
yeah, I think Milroe, what does that mean for Milroe? I don't know. Does it win him the Heisman? Is he just a really good quarterback? I don't know, but I'm confident that he's about to get the best offensive coaching he has ever gotten, and I think that can only help you. That is not going to hurt you.
I believe that if you gave me a flash and I could see who your Heisman finalists were, I could tell you how good Alabama was this year.
I think he'll be there.
So if Jalen Milroe is one of the 4 setting in New York,
Alabama's really good. If he's not, I don't know. Like, I think Jalen Milroe is going to have to be next level good, because I think for the first time in a long time, I think the defense is going to be a little shaky. I think there are going to be teams that will be able to exploit this defense.
yeah, I don't disagree with you. What if I told you?
What if I told you?
30 for 30. What if I told you a guy named Justice or Jam were sitting in New York?
Oh, my God.
The running backs.
Same thing. I think Alabama's had a really good year. And what if I told you Alabama's defense statistically gives up what the 2011 defense gave up?
Oh, then Alabama.
Single digits? What was that, 8?
I think it was 8 or 9.
something.
Yeah, Alabama wins the national championship. I can tell you that.
I mean, who doesn't score?
Kane Womack's got the Broyles award wrapped.
And probably a head coaching job somewhere.
He's probably coaching in Florida next year as the head coach. All right, a lot more college football to get to, and the NFL throughout the camps, e.g. from Tuscaloosa, coming up in the next segment. Before LT tells us about the Inverness Country Club, I did want to touch on the Olympics just briefly here opening, because Brown and I were joking, and I'm sure you've all seen the highlights of it by now, but the 7-on-7 rugby for the women, I don't know if it was kick 6-like or whatever. I don't understand the rules really, but apparently I didn't watch it live, but the Americans, after getting handed to them by New Zealand, is playing Australia in the bronze medal game. And the girl, I've got the name here, Alex Cedric. Al Cervix. I remember his golf ability.
Tiptoeing right around that line.
Yeah. He's in the Olympic golf.
Alex Cedric is stopped 90 yards away from the goal as time is expiring, and then she breaks out of it.
And we're behind at this point.
Oh, yeah,
we're
we're behind.
the U.S. I say we haven't watched 1 minute of
and
this.
She goes 90 yards. Yeah. Literally, you have to touch the ball down, hence touchdown in the zone there, and that ties it up. And then we have to make the kick, and we win it as time expires in a walk-off fashion. Tears everywhere, first medal, a bronze medal.
They didn't go Ryan Flugner, did they?
No, they made it.
Yeah.
But am I right about this? The person that scores the touchdown has to kick the point in rugby?
Well, I don't know.
I think you do.
That sounds like something that should happen.
No, I don't think you have a kicker. I think in rugby, now somebody fact check me on this. We'll come back and clean up Deadwood in a minute, I'm sure.
Yeah, somebody that knows 7-on-7 in rugby, if you do the touchdown in the end zone because he touched the ball down.
Yeah.
Are you the one to have to go kick it?
I think that is right. I'm going to look it up. Rugby rules.
And some of those kicks, by the way, come at some crazy angles.
Well, how is that determined? Is that where you go into the end zone, you have to kick from that angle?
It seems like it is, and she dove between the goalposts, so she had the easy straight-on kick.
Yeah.
And it may be worth more points. I don't know. AK says rugby is awesome to watch. The 7-on-7 games go so fast.
I was surprised. We had one of them on yesterday. I guess it was the game you're talking about, right?
That was the New Zealand semifinal game. I mean, the games go so fast.
Yeah.
We lost in the semis. They played another semi. They played the gold medal game, and we played the bronze medal all in a short period of time, all during a CBS television break.
Well, every time I looked up, it looked like Kristen McCaffrey was taking one to the house. Like they were long, runs where Chick is out 15, 20 yards in front of somebody.
Yeah, exactly. If you bust an angle, there's wide fields and only 7 people out there. You can go the distance.
But you do, to get the 2 points, you do have to kick it from where you went in. Yeah. So there's some sort of angle. So if you go into the pylon,
so the strategy is you try to go.
You need to try to score in the center. Yeah, it's harder to get the 2 points.
Oh, the pylon's tough.
It's going to be a hard kick from the pylon.
And what would you say pylon touchdowns in the NFL 50-50? Yeah. Oh, it really is.
It probably is. Yeah.
There's Alex right there touching it down in the end zone.
Yeah, so she's right in the middle right there. So if she was, in fact, the kicker, which I think she was, I think she had to kick it.
Yep.
That would be far more interesting if the guy that scores has to kick the extra point too.
And do they have to?
Could you imagine a tight end lining up kicking an extra
Does
point?
the ball have to bounce as they kick it? Well, what do we?
It says right here,
the drop kick.
It can be taken as either a place kick from the ground or a drop kick.
Okay.
They don't have a tee. I think they just lay it on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Last person to make a drop kick in the NFL.
Mick Luckhurst?
I think I know this.
Is it Mick Luckhurst?
No.
Oh, I remember somebody did it just to show off. Who was it?
Oh wait, it was the Raiders kicker, the big
Sebastian Janikowski,
yeah.
the Polish cannon?
Was it
No,
him?
I don't think so.
I think he might have done it. I think Butker did it once, but I was it not Doug Flutie? Did Doug Flutie?
Doug Flutie did do it for the Patriots,
Yeah.
I think, because that's the way you do it in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Steven says it was Flutie.
Yeah.
AK said Patriots did it.
No, it really was.
But everyone is saying Doug Flutie.
Well, Doug Flutie did it for the Patriots. He was on the Patriots when he did it.
So everybody's right.
Yeah, everybody's right on that one.
Yeah.
It was.
Everybody gets a T-shirt.
It was an incredible play. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I mean, I saw it this morning the first time. I didn't understand what I was watching at first. I had to go back and reread the tweet. But, I mean, that was a walk-off touchdown for 90 yards. You don't see that often in any sport, really.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
As good as Puka's catch in scrimmage yesterday?
Oh, probably not. Not in a preseason scrimmage.
All right, across the middle, pulled an Odell.
MW Wires 14 is right. That'd be fun in football. Got to make the conversion from the spot you cross the end zone. To me, it'd be more fun if whoever scores it has to kick it.
Yeah.
I mean, all this backing it all the way up like we've done in the NFL to make the extra point exciting. It would be more exciting if CeeDee Lamb scores a touchdown for the Cowboys. He's got to be the one that kicks the extra point. We could move it back up to a normal extra point at that point.
But Lance is right. Probably half the touchdowns in the NFL are at the pylon.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like this.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL free extra point would be tough.
I'll tell you who wouldn't like it this year is Alabama fans.
After they lost.
I mean, Riker could have hit it from anywhere you want, but I don't know what you're going to get this year.
With a new kicker. That could be a question mark coming out. Zach says the China-North Korea mixed table tennis last night was awesome. It is.
They've got to be the two favorites, stereotypically.
They did that with, what's it called? CG? Is that what it is? CGI? In the movie Forrest Gump.
Right.
But when you watch these guys play at the Olympics, it is legit. It's almost that fast. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's why I don't know if you guys, we were spring break or something, and we had a house that had a ping pong table. And so playing, I'm like, damn, this is pretty easy to pick up again. And then you watch those guys, and it's like you couldn't even see it probably.
No. Everybody's reminding us Alabama's got the Lou Groza Award winner.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I always forget he portaled in.
But big moment.
That's right.
I've seen great kickers in the NFL on a dime completely lose it mentally.
Yeah, Miami of Ohio, Alabama, different kind of pressure.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Will Riker was one of those guys. He
was automatic.
Yeah, he was automatic.
Yep. All right, so we're off and rolling. Women's, in case we don't get back to the Olympics, women's gymnastic, Auburn's Suni Lee and Simone Biles, they won it yesterday, running away so much so that Simone Biles basically had to just walk out to the floor for the floor routine and walk off at some point to get an 8.3 is all they needed. They ran away with it. They won yesterday afternoon. Today we do get USA and South Sudan. Later on today at 2 o'clock on the USA Network in men's basketball. Have we seen a line on that?
I saw 31.5.
MyBookie.ag.
That sounds right.
Was where it opened. I'll look at MyBookie.ag to get updated, but it opened, I think, at 31.5.
And how much did I think that's what you guys said it would be?
I think Lance said it could go as low as 25.
Yeah, I said it could be as low as 25 after them winning.
I thought you said literally 31.
No, I think I said it could go as low as 25, but it could settle around 30.
Let's go with Olympics.
That's exactly where it is.
Basketball, Olympic men's basketball game odds.
Have you played that at lanceslog.com today?
I have not. I have not put that up yet.
U.S. favored 29.
29.
So it's creeping back the other way.
It was a buzzer beater in the exhibition.
That guy
U.S.
is right.
favored 29.
South Sudan is super athletic.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they're all – it seems like everybody on the roster is 6'10", and they can shoot.
And by the way, their arms look like they're at a used car lot. Their arms are huge.
Oh, yeah. Every wingspan is
it's
7'2". Everybody's 6'10", and they can all shoot it, and they're athletic. Here's what, I mean, if the Americans want to cover, they can cover.
I don't know if they do. I kind of like South Sudan plus the 29.
Yeah, I kind of do, too.
I think that's going to be my play.
Is JT Thor, who's coming to Auburn, is he on the South Sudan team?
Oh,
yeah,
is
he is.
Well, I'm getting a nod from Forrester back there. Thank you, Troy.
In the scrimmage, was it a win or a loss by the Americans? It was a 1-point game.
1-point win.
Yeah, because LeBron made that last shot.
Yeah,
so Thor, I think, hit the final shot for South Sudan to put them up before LeBron hit that.
Oh.
Now, if
so there's Auburn blood in this game today.
If I'm Corso, I'm not going to put on a South Sudan head, but I would take South Sudan plus the 29.
You could make some serious money if you play a money line.
The money line is they don't even have one listed as. You think there is one? They don't have it listed in mybookie.ag.
Get one somewhere. It's probably in the neighborhood of.
Oh, they're not going to win the game.
20 to 1?
They're not going to win the game.
Smuff in the mybookie.ag chat room. We're almost to that point, Smuff. Points? Rockstar? Points?
We don't need him.
He can't do it. He's too sick.
15 minutes. We don't need him.
Brown Bandit, not too far away, returning this year.
South Sudanese?
Yeah. We don't need it.
Hey, where do you think their watch party is right now?
You don't think they got to walk on?
Order the tuna bowl there.
Hey, you want the outside seating?
No, God, no.
No.
Hey, so
I saw those tigers earlier. No.
Next year to celebrate going into our 5th year, let's take it internationally.
Go to Sudan?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, Emily Grace, before we get too deep into that, Emily Grace McWhorter will join us from Alabama camp on the other side, and we'll jump into the rest of the show that's being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. Tell us about the wonderful folks there at the ICC.
Yeah, maybe you relocated or retired. Inverness, a great place to network. Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club, where they have memberships that absolutely fit everyone, from the social membership, including resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday night, Sunday brunch, the golf membership, beautiful course, currently expanding the driving range, childcare also a big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis. Guess what? You can drop the kid and go have yourself a day on the court or course. Take a tour of this unbelievable club. Call Aaron today, 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608. The best days happen in Inverness. Make sure you tell her the next round sent you. For more information, iccalabama.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at scottforestertv.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Emily Grace just checking in with us from Tuscaloosa, still inside watching practice, so she's going to join us hopefully before the top of the hour, so a little delay in that. But we'll talk more football, about camps, and a thing that the folks at Saturday Down South, and maybe you have already noticed about the SEC this year, right after LT tells us about the wonderful folks at Lanyas Furniture.
Yeah, I had a opportunity. You guys saw Jon Lunceford up here checking out our studios for the first time on Monday. Great dude. They want to remind you, at Lanyas Furniture, they believe in getting more style for less. Lanyas offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, and a great selection of mattresses. If you're designing like an island and you don't know exactly what you want, you know what? You can go get a free estimate right there on site at Lanyas Furniture. Lanyas has everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary, transform your home into a beautiful escape with new furniture and decor pieces. Also, get up to $300 in Lanyas sleep credits from Birmingham. Really simple. You take exit 280 off of I-65, the Hallmark Farms exit, go south on U.S. Highway 31 for 1.3 miles. No traffic lights. You're not going to see any of those. Right there on your right is going to be Lanyas Furniture. When you get in there, tell John and Reggie the Next Round sent you.
Herm Edwards on the show coming up in about an hour to talk NFL football and some camp going on. But this is an observation. Let's do SEC first before we go around the nation. By the way, Auburn starts practice tomorrow with Hugh Freeze down there. EG will be on the Auburn campus, EG on campus. Coming up on Friday, she'll join us from down at Auburn, as the players will be made available Friday in Auburn. So we'll roll down there on Friday. She's in Tuscaloosa today. But around the SEC, one thing that as camps open up, where are the quarterback battles? And I wonder if this is the aftermath of NIL and the transfer portal, that there just aren't a ton of quarterback battles. I'm trying to think of one in the SEC.
Oh, I thought you were talking just SEC.
Yeah, SEC first, and then we'll go national. But in the SEC, I can't. Where's there a quarterback battle? I can't think of one.
Vandy?
Well, I don't even know who Vandy's quarterback is.
Well, I mean, the kid transferred in from New Mexico State that was so good against Auburn last year.
Pablo, right?
Yeah. But I don't know that he's
No, you're right. I mean, Jalen's got it. Taylor Green's got it. Peyton Thorne's got it. Graham Mertz has got it. Carson Beck.
Nico's got it at Tennessee.
Nico, Nussmeier.
Even Vandegrift at Kentucky.
That's right. Walked in. South Carolina's got their guy.
Blake Shapen at State. Brady Cook.
Yeah, I'm with you. Nussmeier. I mean, there's
Connor Wegman.
Yeah, Nussmeier, Wegman.
I mean, I can't think of one.
Yours.
And that's unusual, isn't it?
Well, I mean, is it the environment we're living in, though? I mean, do you think part of that is transfer portal?
That's what I was just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're good, you're going somewhere else, right?
Yeah, and I think it is cut and dry. I wonder if guys, it's kind of weird that a lot of these guys don't want competition anymore, pushing each other to see who's actually going to be the best. And it seems like the quarterback position is already settled by the time we get to fall camp.
I mean, understand what I'm asking here. Is Quinn Ewers to Arch Manning the closest of, if the one doesn't work out, we're going to the two? Anywhere in the conference? And Quinn Ewers is really good, but I mean,
I don't, if it wasn't a Manning name, I don't think we would say that.
We wouldn't say that?
I don't think so. But I could be wrong.
I mean,
I've never really seen him.
Ty Simpson, and there's Michael. Ty Simpson is still a dude.
I can't.
I guarantee there's a backup on one of these rosters that will end up being a borderline elite quarterback.
Yeah. But do we feel like Rashada's the guy at Georgia? I mean, from what I saw at Arizona State.
As a backup, you mean? Yeah.
I mean, he's the backup.
Yeah, but is he? How close is he to?
Pretty convinced anybody can win 10 games at Georgia.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah. It's unfair to judge him with Arizona State's talent last year. Put him with Georgia's talent.
I mean, Ty Simpson may still be a dude. I don't envision, barring injury, Ty Simpson starting a game for Alabama this year. Do you?
No, and you got
chance.
Austin Mack there, who I guess is...
And they love Austin Mack. The staff does, at least.
Yeah.
I
mean, I don't even know where you're going to see a backup play this year without injury.
And that's
go around the nation, just meaningful. Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
No, I was going to say that you wonder, I mean, how long... I think we're all surprised that Ty Simpson's still there.
A little bit.
I was shocked.
Yeah, Austin Mack, not as much because I think he really likes the staff. The staff likes him. And I could see Austin Mack be kind of the Nussmeier that does wait his time, kind of the Miller Moss at USC.
But you don't expect we go into next year, and we hadn't started this year yet, where both Ty Simpson and Austin Mack are both still on the roster.
I don't think so.
It'd be hard to imagine.
Yeah.
Unless they manage that battle perfectly down to the last moment.
And let me backtrack just a moment because I'm seeing in the mybookie.ag chat room, a lot of people are saying the closest second teamer might be Walker White to Thorne or whoever the backup ends up being to Thorne.
Dude, I went back. I said this earlier this week. I went back and watched that Auburn-Georgia game. And that final drive, Peyton Thorne put balls on guys' hands and they dropped them. Or I wonder if we have sold Peyton Thorne so short because of the lack of talent they had at wide receiver.
Oh, he did not have great wide receivers. I don't think anybody's going to argue that.
I mean, that was against Georgia, second best defense in the country, other than Michigan last year.
Let me pull up his game log here, Dunaway, because.
And I do have what could be a battle nationally. I mean, I don't know if it is. They might have already announced this.
There's not a ton of those anywhere in the country, right? Ohio State's going to be Will Howard.
Well, I think Michigan is one you can look at because you guys will remember. I don't think Alex Orji threw a pass last year, but they would put him in certain packages to run the football. Big physical guy.
And is he going to win it? The battle?
Well, that was the projection. But then Jack Tuttle's another guy that started games at Utah, and Jack Tuttle was at Indiana, and so. And I think Tuttle's the more polished passer, but Orji's the big play guy. So I think they're kind of working through that still. I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, I'd love Charlie, big Michigan fan, to update us on the Michigan quarterback battle. And they got a big recruit that may be a true freshman in there this year that may be part of the mix there. But Michigan obviously would fall into the category of contender that deserves to be in that conversation. But I was running through them yesterday. Those quarterbacks, I mean, so many of the portal guys who moved to new places, they're the guy. USC's big recruit who went to Oregon, but he's going to be behind Dylan Gabriel. I can't remember his name. Dante?
No, Malachi Nelson? No, Dante Moore is the kid from UCLA.
UCLA that went up to Oregon.
Malachi Nelson's now at Boise State.
Yeah, but he's the starter.
So
no quarterback battle.
Yeah, I mean, in an old, back in the day, Dylan Gabriel would still be at Oklahoma and Jackson Arnold, you'd have a heck of a quarterback battle there. Right. But this is the day we live in where Dylan Gabriel is like, Brent Venables is like, we kind of like the backup, and Dylan's like, okay, I'll go to a team that's going to start in the top 5.
Yeah.
And I'll start. I'm going to go to a team that's going to start in the top 5, and I'll be the starter.
Yeah, and I think it works out for everyone involved. Like Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, nobody's upset.
Getting to start in the SEC in their first year. Dylan Gabriel's your Heisman finalist, much like Will Howard and Avery Johnson. I was reading an article from Feldman this morning on Avery Johnson, and he's going to be the starting quarterback at Kansas State for Chris Kleiman, and they are saying this guy is going to be a handful for defenses. And then Will Howard, I think that's going to work out for Ohio State. So it's hard when you see, because I was talking to somebody about this the other day, when Jared Goff went to Detroit and Matt Stafford came in, I felt good that the Rams would have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. I had no idea Jared Goff was going to be like this. That worked out for both organizations as well as it could ever work.
Absolutely. I think he got a purple lavender Lambo.
Who did? Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson. Here, I'll send it to Scott.
Yeah. I'm going to say that will probably pop in Manhattan, Kansas. If you're walking around Manhattan, Kansas, you see a purple Lamborghini, you're going to know who that is.
Now, let me say it's a Corvette. Let me correct myself very, very quickly. I'm not a big car guy, so I looked at it, and people are going to make fun of me for this, and I thought it was a Lambo, but it's a Corvette. A lavender Corvette.
Wow, lavender is that's the color. That's the color of your little logo on your shirt there.
Now,
it's a.
By the way, I like the old school throwback. That looks like something Wimp Sanderson would have worn in the 70s.
The North River. Yeah. Did you get thrown out? You got thrown out of there, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, Floribama and North River.
Yeah, you think I'm the only one that's done both? I don't know.
That's a combo right there.
There it is. There's the lavender. Great job, Scott. Lavender Corvette that Avery Johnson now has. That is going to pop in Manhattan, Kansas.
Is that their stadium, Forrester?
It is.
In the back? Oh, LT knows too.
Yeah, he's been there.
Yeah,
Bill Snyder Family Stadium.
Yeah, don't name it Bill Self in state.
I like the outside of their stadium.
Do you?
Yeah.
It looks more like a science building or.
Yep. Collegiate. It's collegiate though.
Man, when the Kansas State quarterback can get a lavender Corvette, we're playing in different times now.
But a good American-made car there, Corvette, doors open normally. It doesn't have one of those.
I don't think he's got to back out.
I am not a Corvette guy. I don't know about you.
It's never really appealed to me.
It's more like, as Jason Bateman would say, Marty Bird, it's more like a transformer.
Yeah.
All right, one more thing in this segment for what LT just brought up. After LT tells us about the great folks at New York Butcher Shop.
That's one of the great scenes in Ozark when that old lady gets that Lambo.
Yeah, they were like, be low-key on the money.
Okay, I'll be low-key on the money. It's up in a Lambo.
You bought a transformer. Is that transformer going to drink?
Yeah, quickly.
Hey, look, if you're looking grilling out, you're looking for great steaks, stop by, see our friend Jim at the New York Butcher Shop. Their chef-prepared entree, side dishes, perfect dinner to go. Ready for your family to heat right there at home. And don't forget about the huge deli sandwiches. I had our buddy Brad Jackson was in town on Monday. He sent me a text, which one of these sandwiches should I get? And I said, you can't go wrong with any of them. Said it was incredible. Look, they've got a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
I think we need to have a trifecta here for the competition to throw out to anyone in the chat room that could beat what LT has brought up here. Floribama, North River. Give me one more place you've been thrown out of and see if anybody can beat that rare combination.
Floribama, North River are kind of on other ends of the spectrum. I mean,
That's
North
right.
River is a nice Tuscaloosa country club. The Floribama is,
So maybe we should just do 2. The
I don't. Yeah, because I don't know what you would put that was.
Yeah, for the record, North River, I was 13, I think. In Floribama, the last time I was...
Acting like you were 13?
I was probably 27, 28 the last
Look,
time.
I mean, it's the whole getting thrown out of the Floribama thing. A lot of people... I mean, our buddy Steve Powers, the director of entertainment there, has been thrown out. Now he's one of their great employees.
That's just an indictment on how well they run their thing. Like, if you step out of line a little bit, they're going to give you a warning, and if you continue to step out of line...
It just takes you taking your shirt off.
Yeah.
That, or, in Steve's case, telling the wrong person to go F themselves.
I told my daughter, so Uncle Steve Powers, he's Lance's uncle, but figuratively, we all call him Uncle Steve.
He was my wingman one night.
He was showing my daughter around the Floribama the first time she went there when we were there for the Army-Navy game, and he showed her the wall of fake IDs. And he's like, make sure you tell all your friends that is one thing we do not play on around here is fake IDs. We are serious about those.
It's almost like when they bring Phil and Alan and the Hangover up to show the kids the taser.
Yeah. We do not play around with fake IDs. And sure enough, Anna Kate had 2 friends try to use a fake there and got busted. And her other friend didn't do it. You know why she didn't do it?
Because AK told her?
Anna Kate said, my dad's friend said they do not mess around with fake IDs there. And the other 2 got bounced for life. You get kicked for life if you use a fake there.
How long does the life ban really work?
I don't know. And I don't know how they enforce that, but they were told you are banned for life from the Floribama.
I mean, if they scan your driver's license, it will pop up on a screen, the computer thing, because you've got the barcode now on driver's license.
Yeah.
If they run it through a thing.
So now you're going to need another fake to try to get in.
Yeah. Banned for eternity at that point.
Because I did get banned for life from one joint. And I've been there a bunch since.
So you've been back?
Yeah.
Okay, EG
I was at that place in Dallas.
EG is going to join us next segment, I hope, but she has sent for you people that just want to see it. Here's a little video from Alabama camp today. This is Alabama working out. First fall practice under Kalen DeBoer.
Finally have the white helmets.
Yeah.
He's bringing them back. That's the quarterback room. Boy, they got a lot of quarterbacks, don't they?
Yeah.
Austin Mack is a tall drink of water.
Number 10 there in your video as you're watching the screen. Jalen Milroe handling the snap and a good handoff right there. Oh, no, he faked it. He fooled me too, Brownie.
No, they flip him the ball. Watch, he
Okay.
fakes the handoff. This is to optimize the drill. He's going to hand off. They're going to flip him the ball, then he's going to throw.
We got some Jalen Milroe news that we will probably... Should we yellow light it and wait till tomorrow?
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel that it is a full green, but...
Yeah, I'd yellow like that one, though. Yeah. You just never know. I mean, busy camp starting, you never know.
This scene from Tuscaloosa here with Emily Grace McWhorter, who will join us later on, shooting this morning at camp.
There's O'Kane Womack coaching some defense. I mean, I think that, God, he looks so hot. Look how much he's already sweated through that pullover.
Well, I mean, he does have a sweatshirt on.
Those coaches, though, man, they do not want to burn those arms.
Yeah, they like to sweat, though, too. It's a good time if you put on a little bit of weight during recruiting to skin up before season. right?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see when we saw it with UAB in the background yesterday with EG's report and just looking at this video, it is fantastic to see teams back out on the field again.
It really is. Just sitting watching this. Let me know if this loops around. I mean, I'm just watching. It hasn't looped yet, has it?
No, EG.
Oh, it has looped already?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
we
sorry.
missed the loop.
Sorry. I need a cigarette and a towel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. There's old Austin Mack strolling back in.
Yeah, there he is.
I mean,
again.
Jalen Milroe is not a small guy, and I know there's a depth perception deal there, but look how much taller Mack is than Jalen Milroe.
Yep.
Yeah, our buddy Brock Hewart told us he was just a massive individual actually has some athleticism.
Yeah. Hey, just year-to-year improvement. How about EG's video?
Oh, wow.
I mean, just look how good that video looked there. I mean, was that her or the university that sent that? Was that her or ESPN? Way to go, EG. It was really good. Hopefully she joins us in the next segment. We'll see if she's sweating on the other side. On the show that's being brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hang around. It's football time on the next round.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or michelson-laservision.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Best move in the majors yesterday was Jack Flaherty going from the Tigers to the Dodgers. Big pickup for the Dodgers. Lanceslock.com to play the baseball today. Brought to you by our friends at the Hemphill, folks with Hemphill Services. Man, oh man, another big arm for you guys if he stays healthy.
Yeah, look, and he's been fantastic for the Tigers thus far this year. I don't know what the expectation was on Flaherty signing that one year deal with the Tigers, but he's made him some money. And, you know, the Dodgers are getting healthier. Bobby Miller's about to come back. Walker Buehler's about to come back. You just got Glasnow and Kershaw back. But this is a huge bolster to the starting rotation for the Dodgers. And to me, this is probably the biggest move you've seen at the deadline.
Yep. Tell us about our friends at Hemphill that brings you lanceslock.com.
Yeah, so 2 and 2 yesterday. We've got 3 plays up for you today. Jump on board, win with us. $100 gets you everything. And remember, we'd love for you to like and subscribe to the new YouTube channel. We've got a new podcast up telling you which coaches will make it and which coaches will get fired after 2024. Give you some free plays right there. Go to win@lanceslock.com. But if you're having any heating or cooling issues, by the way, it seems like everything's cooled down in studio. Much better today. Whether you experience any of these issues in your home or business, contact our friends at Hemphill Services, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you.
Before we go to EG, just EG, if you could let them know that you're
sideways.
There we go. We got it now. Perfect. Let's go out there to Emily Grace McWhorter at the Mal Moore Football Complex in Tuscaloosa. And we saw Kane Womack sweating in your great video you sent us. How hot is it there on day 1 of Bama camp?
I am sweating so bad, guys. I did not expect it to be as hot as it was, and we were in the shade the whole time. So for those of you that have seen Nick Saban's practices, we are in a little bit of a different location, but they're still very strict about stepping on the grass and staying on the sidewalk. Coach Womack, full sweatsuit. I heard him say, "You're going to be uncomfortable. You might as well start now." That is the way to start.
Sweat right through it.
Surprised you didn't wear your red bottoms out there just to like put little spike holes. I see the shoe game. So I mean, what is everything seems so buttoned up in the Saban regime, and I don't even know if you got an opportunity because you just joined us at this time last year, so you're only a year on the job. So I don't know if you had an opportunity to actually partake in some of those Saban practices, but just overall, what does that feel right now?
Yeah, it is still buttoned up. So that was something that a lot of people were wondering, will it feel the same? I was able to experience a few of his practices. Obviously, there's music now. So there was everything from Thunderstruck to Californication to Fortunate Son, all clean music. So that's the biggest difference. But they're still very regimented in periods and getting where they need to be, when they need to be. And also the culture of hustle and get where you need to go quickly is still very much there.
Fortunate Son, the strangest inclusion in that. None of those guys were alive when that song came out, but all right.
Yeah, I mean, Californication's pretty old, too. I'm not sure they were
And
alive.
Thunderstruck.
Thunderstruck. They're all old.
Yeah, I don't think any of them were alive for any of that.
So
who sits around and cleans up the music is what I want to know.
So DeBoer had the aux today. All right, he's playing old music. Emily Grace McWhorter live from Tuscaloosa as Alabama camp opens today. Were you able, and listen, you were doing a lot of things. You were getting video. There's 105 players out there. I'm curious if you laid eyes on the receivers and if you saw Ryan Williams and what he looked like.
So I was able to see the running back. So everything is a little bit twisted around. So the guys aren't super visible. Jalen Milroe was there taking snaps. And actually, Kalen DeBoer was getting in on the action as well. So I sent over a video. You guys can check that out on @NextRoundLive on Twitter. I did not see Ryan Williams. I may have just overlooked him. I couldn't find him in the masses, but the running back group looked really good. So Jam Miller and Justice Haynes, they were taking some reps together. It'll be interesting to see how DeBoer wants to utilize them because they are some of the most talented running backs right now, arguably in the country.
Yeah, and we talked to him at SEC Media Days, and you and I talked to him at Tide Tour, and I know you've had some other times to talk to Kalen DeBoer. He's a guy that really enjoys running the football. I mean, Michael Penix and those great NFL receivers from last year, they got him to the playoffs, but he likes to run the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And we were actually able to speak with him on an off-the-record meeting yesterday, something that he likes to do with media. That's all I'll say about that. But it's really cool just to see kind of his perspective on things that you wouldn't expect from a coach like that. He does like to run the ball, and he has the resources to do that. So we'll see if it's an A-B type system, if they're splitting carries, or if there's a workhorse somewhere in there. But he does have a really talented group that he's going to be able to do that with.
Okay, so anything else before you leave that you want to get out about about the camp so far? We're going to let you get back to working on it. You're going to talk to him later on today?
Yeah, so how it's going to work and what you guys can expect from me is practice is going to be first. So that's something that is different in the past, or doing morning practices. The biggest thing, obviously, with morning practice is you have to make sure your players are going to bed at night so they can be here at the allotted time. So I'll do practice first. Y'all will get some videos, receive those, and then we'll go meet with Coach DeBoer on Mondays. And then tomorrow I'll be back down here for defensive players. And then Friday I'll be in Auburn. But that's kind of how it's going to look. We'll do practice first, then talk to Coach. So expect that here probably the next hour and a half or so.
And you were telling me yesterday it's going to be different with Coach DeBoer about coordinators every week, right?
Yes. So what you guys can expect this fall when the season begins, this is not conducive to fall camp, but fall season wise. So on Mondays, we'll have the opportunity to hear from OC, DC, and head coach. So I think Kane Womack will start us off, then go into Coach Sheridan, and then finally Coach DeBoer, who will chat for about 30 minutes or so, while the defensive coordinators will have about 15 minutes. Tuesdays will be that player day where I'm down here recapping with players, and that's not going to be on a podium. So it's going to look a little different on our social medias. And then Wednesdays will be the final day, and that's for assistants to chat. So you guys know guys like Coach Shutt, Brian Ellis, those guys.
All right. And Friday, you're off to Auburn.
Friday, I'm off to Auburn. That's my next spot. So this will be day 2 at Bama. Tomorrow will be day 3, and then we'll head down to the Plains.
Yeah. All right. And you'll have players at Auburn on Friday, so you can watch Next Round Live for all of that. All right, EG, go back to practice. Good to see you.
All righty. Bye, guys.
Bye. That is Emily Grace McWhorter, our SEC reporter at Alabama today. And as she said, back there tomorrow, and then Auburn on Friday. Auburn opens tomorrow, but the player availability is Friday, which is why she'll be down there Friday.
Should be really good.
Yeah, and I think one thing Alabama fans are going to like is, we always understood one program, one voice with Nick Saban, but being able to hear from the coordinators.
Yeah. Do you like that, or do you not like it?
You like it when you're
like it.
winning.
Yeah.
We like it, obviously.
Yeah, I just,
our
more
job.
content, more perspective.
Yeah. You like it when you're winning. If you start to lose, you're like, those coordinators need to be doing less interviews and more coaching.
Yeah, like for your example, if Kane Womack's giving up, 29 a game, he's got to come and talk every week.
Are going to, they're going to get really tiresome for Kane Womack if that is the case. But I think for a lot of these coaches, being able to talk to the media, I think it helps some of these guys get jobs.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. Because when you're talking in a news conference every week, you can imagine what he would look like as a head coach, or maybe it costs them some jobs if you're not very good with the media.
Yeah, and this was a backfire, but I remember seeing Tom Herman at Iowa State and Ohio State doing interviews, and I was like, that guy's sharp.
100%.
He's going to be really good.
Same thing. I did too.
And he was good at Houston. Just didn't really work out at Texas.
Our friends at A+, it's in the name. They're really, really good, Brown.
A+ Tile Home Remodeling. They are A+. When it came time to redo the master bath in the Brown house, my wife scoured the internet looking for the best person for the job. And by scour the internet, I mean she talked to certain contractors, people that had used contractors. She read reviews. And she picked Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. I'm glad she did. He did such a great job in our master bath. Lance said, you know what, I think I need it done at my house. So he went and did Lance's master bathroom as well. He has since done his kitchen. Those are among his specialties: master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. It's where you're going to enjoy it the most when he does the work, and it's where you're going to get your money back when you go to sell your house. So call Brad Bell now. Anywhere in Alabama, he can help you. 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758. That's his personal cell. Get an evaluation from him. Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling.
Okay, we'll take a little break from college football next 2 segments. When we come back, we'll talk about the NFL camps going on, and a question we ask every year, the official number about a trend in the NFL that still blows my mind, and it happens every year when I say it, but we'll talk about it next. And then Herm Edwards will join us at 10:25. So if you love the NFL, sit back. Next 30 minutes should be a lot of fun right here on The Next Round from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios. And remember to keep the comments rolling in the mybookie.ag promo code Next Round chat room.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you: Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We were just watching the live Olympic coverage of the triathlon, the women's triathlon, where they all jumped into the Seine River that historically has been one of the nastiest rivers on the planet, and couldn't practice on Monday because of the swimming portion of the triathlon because of the E. coli. Couldn't pass a test, but it did pass yesterday, so they could do the event today.
It makes a lot of sense that 24 hours before it doesn't pass, and then it does pass. You know, my rule of thumb would be if you happen to get some of the water in the body of water you're swimming in and it could kill you, you probably don't swim in that body of water.
Yeah,
right?
my rule of thumb, Lance, would be pretty simple, actually. If it has ever failed an E. coli test, I don't get in it. Like, you could come back and say, no, the next 50 tests were clean. And I'm like, but that one that failed, I'm not getting in your water.
Yeah, I'm sure they wear goggles, but you open your eyes, you got double pink eye, right?
Yeah. But see, we're doing the surfing is at the French island of Tahiti, French Polynesia.
That's right. A long way from Paris.
Yeah, a long way from Paris. Could we not find a better body of water in France other than the Seine?
I don't know.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You remember, I mean, I'm not making light of this. I'm being honest about this. Walt Weiss's kid almost died because of that at Whitewater. You remember Whitewater over in Atlanta?
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was E. coli he called.
Well, that's why, like, a kid drops a deuce in the pool, you're going to see it shut down until they get it figured out.
Yeah. What would you have done when we were in Austin? What? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, they're right in the chat room. It has been banned that you can't swim in the Seine. For over 100 years, it's been banned.
That's right. And until we get the Olympics, we're good.
Yeah.
And didn't the Hudson used to be like that in New York? Or
I think it still is.
Yeah. I think the mafia sent some people swimming in the Hudson.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of bones probably at the bottom. But, I don't think it's something you want to jump in.
Oh, my God. Scott's showing us a photo. That's the water. That's the water.
That's awful.
Jeez. I mean, look. I grew up swimming in the Coosa River, so I'm not sure what could kill me.
But when you occasionally get water in your mouth,
Oh yeah, in the Coosa it happened all the time. I mean, you're water skiing and you drop or you fall or whatever, or you're getting up on one and water's just all over your face.
Boy, I would not. Can you imagine peeing in that thing? Like if you were underwater, what could actually?
I think you clean it up.
Infiltrate you.
I think you clean it if you pee it.
Brody says Rio, were swimming in sewage down there. So hats off to the triathletes today who are battling through it. Man, get out of that stinky water, and then you've got to run a marathon and ride a bike 100 miles or whatever it is.
Yeah, you would think that you and when was it the World Cup in Qatar where they built all the stadiums that just sit empty, unoccupied now?
All the white elephants.
Yeah, all the white elephant
couldn't
stadiums.
you build like a man-made structure?
Yeah.
I don't know if you could.
How long do they swim?
I don't know.
In a triathlon, is it 5 miles?
A lot of sports
No.
we don't know the answer to. I think it's over a mile.
It
in
is
the
triathlon.
It's
triathlon.
not 5 miles. That's ridiculous. That would kill you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look at
swim
the-
200 feet is going to kill you.
The winner of the triathlon after swimming in the Seine.
Can't be good for you, man.
Yeah. Well, good luck to them as they continue on. Meanwhile, we were watching volleyball at the base of the Eiffel Tower earlier, and Brown pointed out that the sand is so hot that they're putting their feet in ice buckets during timeouts.
I mean, I walked across some hot sand at the golf, but I don't know I've ever needed to put my feet in the cooler when I got back.
I just didn't realize the temperatures in Paris were this extreme.
I did. The Siri, as soon as Brown said that, it is 91 as we speak.
But you've been on the Gulf at 91, and you walk around in the sand all day. Your feet don't ever feel like they're burning, do they?
It's pretty hot sometimes. I try to leave my
like hot enough you got to put it in the
sandals
cooler?
or shoes right at the walkway, and then I don't carry them down into the sand for some reason.
If you make that sand squeak, you're getting underneath enough where it's kind of cold.
You do have to get deep, don't you?
The show being brought to you by our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. If you've swam in the Seine, you got a problem. They can take care of it for you. By the way, Lunceford Deadwood here, 0.932057 mile swim. So right at a 1 mile swim.
I'm with Lance. How could you not have done a man-made mile-long canal? They just wanted to use the Seine because it's the Seine. Same reason they got the volleyball court right there by the Eiffel Tower. You could have put that volleyball court anywhere, but it's picturesque when it's the Eiffel Tower, right?
That's right.
They could have dug a mile-long trench somewhere and let them swim in it. It's the Olympics. They build stadiums that they abandon for years. You could probably use that mile-long trench for something. Make it a water park, like Whitewater.
Yeah. Or something that you...
Six Flags over Paris.
Do the gondolas down and make it a romantic evening with French food.
You could use it for something.
Urology Centers of Alabama can take care of you. UCA with over 35 urologists on hand, 16 locations around Alabama. Listen, guys, as you age, 20s to 30s, 30s to 40s, and so much stuff you have to take care of, including your health. Treating all your urological needs, from prostate health to kidney stones. They'll take care of you. Get in and get a base checkup and then stay on top of it as you continue on. UrologyCentersAlabama.com or 205-930-0920. Make your appointment today. That phone number or UrologyCentersAlabama.com. So here's the stat, and we bring it up every year. Officially, the last 3 years, it is slightly under 7. But it is 6.7 over the last 3 years in the NFL of teams that don't make the playoffs. You round up to 7. So it's 14 teams that make the playoffs, right? And 7 of them don't make it the next year. In the last 3 years, can you tell me the teams that have made the playoffs every year?
The last 3 years?
Buffalo,
Kansas City, Baltimore.
Kansas City, Baltimore is not on the list.
Wow.
San Francisco?
San Francisco is on the list. So you've got 3 more to go.
Dallas?
Dallas is on the list. 2 more to go.
So this is every year for the last 3 years.
Yep.
Philadelphia?
Philadelphia is on the list. You got 1 more.
Tampa.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they have beat the odds. Those 6 teams have made it the last 3 years. If I asked you, and we'll start with Tampa, I think Tampa would be the early... You could say if you had to name a team that did not make the playoffs this year, Tampa Bay would be. If you were in some kind of pool, you had to put your money. Playoff team last year doesn't make it this year. I think Tampa Bay would
Tampa's
be
the first pick.
Would be the betting favorite.
Yeah.
Tampa's the first pick. Normally, as Lance has pointed out often, and he's correct about this, you would then go to the AFC South because it seems like somebody different wins it every year. And you would say, well, I'll just take the AFC South team. It is hard to wrap your head around Houston not making the playoffs.
You would have said the same with Jacksonville.
I
think Houston was a little bit better than Jacksonville was 2 years ago. I think Indianapolis is going to win this division just because, history is there every year. It is unpredictable. And I think Anthony Richardson, just watching him for a little bit in September, is going to be really good. And Shane Steichen is a really, really good head coach who had them at 9-8 with bad quarterback play last year. So they only were a game behind Houston, as good as Houston was at 10-7. But I would go with the Colts.
Of CBS Sports, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams they think will be the 7 teams that don't make the playoffs. Yep. Houston is one of those.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say Houston too.
I would probably go Cleveland next.
We're real quick on Houston. Okay. We have anointed them already the AFC South champion. I saw today where your second shortest odds to win the MVP is C.J. Stroud.
And
he has the most handle on him right now.
The expectations are insane, aren't they?
So handle, you mean most money on him
15%
right now?
of all the money bet on your future MVP in the National Football League is C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, I would go Cleveland next. It's either Cleveland or Pittsburgh for me.
Cleveland and Pittsburgh, both on this list from CBS Sports.
I might go both of them, but I definitely would go one of those two.
Well, I would go Cleveland before Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh with Mike Tomlin, we've seen he's never had a losing year. I think your quarterback play is going to be better this year, so I think they're going to be more whole. And it was a 10-7 team last year. I don't know what to think about Cleveland because of Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson in 3 years, the last 3 years, has started 12 games.
It's getting until Tua and those other deals. Until Tua and Jordan Love, he was the highest paid player in the NFL, and he's not even playing. I know it sounds crazy. I think I'll go Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is not on their list, but I don't think that's crazy at all, Brown. Because if you just go by,
they were kind of limping down the stretch last year. I think the Commanders are going to be better in that division. I don't know what the Giants are going to be.
I still think Philly's going to be better than they were last year.
You do?
Yeah, I do. It all depends on Jalen. But bringing in Saquon's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder. And I would say this about Dallas, for whatever reason, and I don't think it'll happen, but if CeeDee Lamb, who's holding out right now, he's showing up at camp, but he's holding out. If he doesn't get signed and he doesn't play this year, that offense is awful.
Oh, yeah. If you're playing without CeeDee Lamb, it's a different ballgame, yeah.
Dallas is on the CBS Sports list as one of the 7 that misses the playoffs.
I bet they got the Rams on there.
They've got the Rams on there.
The Rams, they were a terrible team in the first half of the season. When Stafford came back from injury, they were really good. They won 6 of their final 8 games. But, the big question mark is coming off of 10-7 with Aaron Donald out. How different will that defense be? Because that defensive line is what really, outside of McVay's play calling, has really kept them together.
I think the most interesting part of this discussion is going to be the AFC East. But I would say in the AFC West, I don't see any of the teams that missed the playoffs making the playoffs. Las Vegas, Denver, or the Chargers.
Oh, I think the Chargers are going to make the playoffs.
You think they are?
I think
the 5
Harbaugh's
and 12
first year,
Chargers from last year.
I think they will flip it around.
Yeah, I do not. I think it'll only be Kansas City from that division.
The other team, I didn't remember them making the playoffs that CBS has is Green Bay. They have them missing.
Oh, yeah, they won a playoff game.
Yeah, they have them missing the
playoffs,
playoffs this year. To me, Dallas, Green Bay, probably Houston. That surprises me. Those 3 are on the list.
Green Bay is going to be a massive disappointment. A couple of things. So Dak holding out on his own. If they miss the playoffs, that's probably not good for the money he thinks he's going to grab in the offseason.
I would agree.
And Green Bay, the money you just paid Jordan Love, $55 million a year, and he's only been a starter in this league for 1 year. They were only 9-8, as good as he was in the second half of last year, and he had the best QBR in the NFL in the second half, but they still just squeaked into the postseason.
Yeah, but in that division, Detroit is so good. Whatever you think Minnesota is going to be with a quarterback change there.
I don't know. I'm fascinated to see it. J.J. McCarthy, is he going to start for them?
I think Sam Darnold will actually start.
Darnold will?
I do.
Well, if it's Sam Darnold, I don't have a ton of faith in him. Do you? I know he's throwing to Justin Jefferson, and
I don't. It's weird. Like whoever the quarterback is in that Minnesota system, go back to Case Keenum.
Yeah.
And when they went to an NFC Championship game, Kirk Cousins was really, really underrated, really good. So I don't know. Sam Darnold, maybe this is an opportunity to extend a lifeline for him.
If it's Sam Darnold, I don't like the Vikings.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins.
And the Bears were 7-10 last year with the number 1 overall pick in Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think the Bears could be interesting.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins, the Falcons announcing yesterday, or maybe it was this morning. It was this morning when I saw it. They've officially sold out of season tickets. And you
I saw that.
And you can get on a waiting list. I don't know if it's a regular thing at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But I saw it this year. I didn't see it last year. But they have sold out of season tickets. Usually a pretty easy ticket to get. If you have a fan of another team coming to play in Atlanta and you want to go watch them, that's usually a pretty cheap, easy ticket to get.
Yeah, I think what happens in situations like this, you get a new head coach, you go out and you spend a lot of money on a quarterback in free agency. And, the Falcons, they weren't that bad last year with terrible quarterback play at 7-10. So I think Falcons fans believe they are going to win the South this year.
Well, man, I tell you something else that's playing into that for both opposing fans and if you live in Atlanta, they have home games against the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Cowboys.
Oh, wow. Great fan bases.
Great fan bases that travel.
No, you could probably flip some of those tickets and pay your entire book.
And that's what I'm saying. If I live in Atlanta, I can buy that and sell those to opposing fans.
Yeah, that almost would have been worth us purchasing some.
I wish I had looked at it.
Flipping those.
Wish I had looked at it.
Some more NFL stuff with Herm Edwards coming up in the next segment. We'll get back to a couple other things, including some video that we just got in from Tuscaloosa after I tell you about our friends at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the great providers there that will get you back to work or back to play. All you have to do to make an appointment, 205-512-3885, 512-3885. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. Tweaks, pulls, pains, and breaks. They do it all. It's real easy. They diagnose it, they treat it, and they rehab it. Locations from Jasper to Alabaster and all around the Birmingham metro area. Orthopedic care better together with our friends at Precision. Find your provider today. Again, that number 205-512-3885. Visit PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. Josh in the chat room there, who's been a member with us for 22 months now, says, email me if you want to join Jon Lunceford and me for some fantasy football this year. Let's make it happen. Josh Lunceford, do you and Josh have a league going on I don't know about?
Well, we tried last year. I think we got like one or two people away from having a full league. And since I know fantasy football is not something people care about here, we're going to start our own league.
So this is in the chat. Hey, you were one or two people away from the chat. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, come on, chat. MyBookie.ag chat room. Step up. Let's go.
You didn't ask me?
If you want to join, Jim.
You're not in the chat.
I would love to join, though. Well, Lunceford's not in the chat either.
Lunceford's in the chat all the time. He's right there. He says, let's go.
Well, I'm working during the chat. I can't be in the chat.
Oh.
So is Brown. He types in there occasionally.
I type in there. I tell Jake hello every morning.
We'll talk to the great Herm Edwards coming up. Herm's in the next segment after this next commercial break. But before we go to break here, if you can give us the video from Tuscaloosa. It is... from our friends at ABC 3340 as Alabama's on the field, and this is Ryan Williams. EG was telling us lost in the shuffle on the other side of the field from where she was. Ryan Williams in the center of your screen there. If you're wanting to see what he looks like in the white jerseys today, white and crimson, and the Alabama playmaker, they hope, gets out there as a 5-star true freshman.
Skinny kid. He gives you some Devontae Smith vibes, doesn't he?
Yeah. Really quickly, somebody...
I think he would take those results, right?
Yeah, if he's that good.
Really quickly, somebody in the chat room will say the deuce is loose.
Yeah.
Very quickly, taking you back to the early 90s there. All right, quick break here. We'll talk to Herm. Coming up on the other side, this is the next round.
On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
We'll go to Tennessee and Texas A&M camp later in the show, but let's continue the NFL conversation with one of our favorite people.
He is the best. Coach Herm with us again. Coach Herm Edwards from ESPN on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Welcome back, Coach. Hope you had a good summer.
Well, I have, and thank you very much. I have a daughter actually going to college this year. She's going to Austin, University of Texas.
Oh, a new SEC? She's going to an SEC school.
Yeah, she's going to the SEC. So we're going to make our journey down there, I think, on the 11th of August and get her checked into the dorm. So
good for her.
Coach, I'm going to go see Coach and maybe we'll go over to practice and watch some football.
Before we get into the NFL, let's stick in the SEC. We were talking about Alabama opening camp with Kalen DeBoer in year one. You coaches are a tight-knit fraternity. How well do you know Kalen DeBoer?
You know, I know of him. I think anytime you follow Nick Saban, as someone had to follow Bear Bryant, it's a tough task. And I think you can't get caught up on the numbers. You can't get caught up on what he's accomplished, Coach Saban and his tenure there at Alabama. You just have to be you. And Alabama obviously stands as one of the best college football programs in the country. And with that being said, you're going to have access to a lot of really good players. The expectations are always high when you put on one of those uniforms. So I just think Coach has been there. He gets it. It's a big seat. There's no doubt about that. It's a big seat to fill now, and expectations are high. But you got good players, and it's interesting now with this NLI. The key is, can you keep your good players?
Yeah.
It's worse than the NFL. In the NFL, they sign a contract. You got it for 3 or 4 years. You're week to week. You're calling roll when you have your team meeting. Is everybody here? Right? It's kind of one of them deals. So good luck to those college coaches. I get it. I was involved at Arizona State when that thing first hit, and I can remember a couple of guys coming in the office, and I said, "Hey, you got to go." With what they're offering you, I said, you got to go. One of them was Jaden Daniels. He went.
And
he ended up winning the Heisman.
Yeah. We're good.
Pretty good. I talk to him all the time. I tell him, you owe me money, man. But that's fine.
Hey, and that times out well when you got a daughter going to college. You'll need that money there. Yeah.
Right. That's his little sister. He calls both my daughters his two little sisters. So we have a great relationship.
We've seen Coach Saban now a couple of times since he started working with you guys at ESPN, and he's playing a lot of golf too. He seems to be having a good retirement so far. I didn't know if it would transition that well for him. How long does that last for you, the newness of it all, before you start to miss it?
It's fun, because it's something new. You got to turn your brain a different way. You have a lot of information, obviously. You've been around football your whole life, but now you're trying to explain it to the fan. It's a lot of fun. You miss the competition of it all. You really do when you've been a competitive guy. It's funny because you think about Coach Saban and obviously Bill Belichick. I'll take you guys way back. In 1977, when I was with the Philadelphia Eagles as a rookie, both those guys were at Michigan State working for Duffy Daugherty.
Wow.
And they came down to our practice when I was a rookie at Westchester. And at Westchester, I believe it was. And that's when I first met them. They were secondary guys, and they sat in the room. They spent a whole day there, and two young coaches. I'm playing pro football. They're young coaches. And lo and behold, you go back and you look at it all. He goes, I knew those guys. Those guys were college coaches, and I was playing in the NFL. So it's kind of ironic. Both of them now are out, and both of them are Hall of Fame coaches. They're both on television, right? And it's television a little bit different because you don't really have a team. You don't feel the anxiety that you're used to having on Friday night if you play Saturday, and on Saturday night if you play Sunday. And putting the game plan together and just the competition of it all. That's what you miss. I've always said this, that's the coaching part. But the playing part, for me, there's nothing close to that. There ain't close.
Yeah.
I mean, I love coaching at both levels, college and professional football. But the playing part, the actually competing in the arena, I can't find a replacement for that yet.
The coach, Herm Edwards, with us from ESPN. The NFL preseason opens tomorrow with NFL Hall of Fame game. What do most franchises do when you've got the overall number one draft pick? He's going to be your starting quarterback, and you're playing your first preseason game. What's the book tell you to do with that guy?
Well, in today's world, I think the book's real simple. I mean, if he is your guy, you got to get him reps. Now, the thing about that, the offensive linemen don't like that. You tell them early in the preseason, hey, let me tell you something now. You're going to be in there for a while. And the old vets are looking at you kind of sideways. Coach, no. We got to protect the quarterback. Now, you're going to run the ball some with him to protect him, but you got to keep him in there with the offensive line. And you have to allow him to be in charge of the huddle with the veterans in there. Because that's all the vets want to know. When he walks in the huddle, does this guy have command or not? And the preseason, it's all fun. It's all funny and laughing, because half the veterans now, they wear the baseball hats. They don't play. They stand on the sideline. They're just, they're the hum babies. They're coaching. Every veteran player is coaching now. And this is why I've said this numerous times in the NFL, the first 4 games, you really don't know who you are. Anybody could win the first month of football because it's really like a glorified preseason games, except they count. Because the players don't play in the preseason anymore. When you think about the veteran guys, if you get him, if there's a number, is it 60 reps in 3 games that you want your veterans to play? Is that the number? Is it 50? According to how their age, according to who they are, that's what you do. When you have a quarterback, that's a whole entirely different situation because now you got to keep the veterans in there with him. And I've always said this in the preseason, I was always big on this, and I told the veterans this. One of these games, you have to start in the third quarter. You have to go in at halftime, come in and start the first series in the third quarter, just to feel what it feels like coming out of the locker room, going back on the field and playing, right? Don not your baseball hat. You only have to win a series or 2, but I want you to leave the locker room at halftime and go start the game off, get used to that. And then from there, you're playing all the young guys and evaluate.
Coach, numbers show historically half the teams that made the playoffs missed the postseason the very next year. Yeah. We were talking about an organization that you played for, the Philadelphia Eagles, and almost winning a Super Bowl 2 years ago. They start 10-1, but they lose 6 of their final 7 last year. You've got Kellen Moore coming in to call offensive plays for Jalen Hurts. Which Jalen Hurts do we see this year?
I think you see one that's healthy, that's not hurt, and I think with Kellen there, they're going to rely more on the running backs in the passing game. They had no answer, to be quite honest. When people brought pressure, their answer was throw deep balls to A.J. Brown. They never attacked the middle of the field. I watched them. Look, I saw this collapse happening in week 8 just from afar. When I'm watching it, I said, these boys are in trouble. They're in trouble. And everybody in the studio said, what are you talking about? I said, they're in trouble. Defensively, they're not very good. And offensively, they got no answer for pressure. They got one answer. Throw it deep. Well, okay, that didn't work. So now people are showing pressure and dropping off in zone, and it was a mess. And then the quarterback gets hurt. So now they got Barkley there. By the way, that is still puzzling to me. They let Barkley basically catch a taxi cab from New York and go down to Philadelphia, play in the same division. You got to play the guy twice. He's your best player, and you let him go to Philly? That's a head scratcher for me. He can't be in the same division. You got to pay the guy twice. He called a cab. He didn't even use Uber. He called a cab and went down to Philly. Right? So, it's one of those deals. I'm glad we got him because he's a heck of a football player. But I think the Eagles will be much better. They've done some things defensively. They drafted the 2 kids, the secondary players, and this team knows how to win. I think the quarterback, and you guys seen him play in the SEC. I mean, he's a remarkable individual. He's a good young man. He's what you want as a quarterback, right? He gets it. He just gets it. And I think, his father was a coach. That helps him, but it's just the way he handles himself. Class act.
Herm Edwards is with us, and we always he took a cab. We live for those Herm moments on our show here. I'm looking at Broncos camp news last night before I go to bed because Bo Nix is from our area, played at Auburn before he went to Oregon. He's in the mix there, a first-round draft pick. So too is Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson. How important is it for Stidham to have been at least a year under the Sean Payton offense? Does that give him a little leg up going into the season that Stidham's been there a year?
Well, it helped. He knows, he knows what coach likes. He understands, the system because it's a system. It's the West Coast system. That's what it is, and it's get the ball out quick, be very accurate with the ball. Stay out of second and longs. You always want to be in 2nd and 4, and that's a bad down for defense. Coach Payton knows how to do that with his offense, and it's about completions. This is why. Be quite frankly, this is why Russell Wilson really struggled in this offense because it's a high percentage throw the ball quick. It's not drop back 5 steps, throw it deep. It's get the ball out of your hand, get it to the guys running in space, and make good throws, right? Accurate throws. And so, I mean, that's the offense you're in. And if you can do that, I don't care if you're a rookie, I don't care if you're a 5-year guy. That's what Sean expects out of his quarterbacks. And he's been successful doing
it. Coach Herm, why does it work for Jim Harbaugh? The guy has won everywhere he's been. I mean, he won at San Francisco, he's won at Michigan, and a lot of people think he will win immediately in L.A.
No doubt, he's gonna turn it around. He's gonna, I know Coach pretty well, and he's still an old-fashioned football coach when you think about it, right? He's gonna lean on his offensive line. And he's going to lean on the running back. That's where it all starts. It all starts there. And he is a grinder. He's going to make you play tough football. He's going to run the ball at you, and he's going to build everything off his run game. And if you're a defensive player, you love that because you're taking possessions away from your opponent because you're going to control the line of scrimmage. He believes in toughness. He's very confident. He's great with the quarterbacks. Wherever he's been. I can remember when people were scratching their head and he was in San Francisco when he had Colin Kaepernick. And everybody said, what is he doing with this guy? You can't run this guy on the option. Yeah, we can. And it took half the season for everybody to figure out, you know what, you better stop this option with this quarterback because they're going to keep running. And he ran him right into the playoffs. And so I just think he's done a fabulous job wherever coach has been. And players buy into him. He's out there with his football cleats on. in the pregame. He got the cleats. He got cleats on. I told him one day, I said, Coach, they make those ones that they're not molded anymore. You can get them other ones now, the soft shoe. He likes the regular cleats. He wants the old cleats to go in the grass, right? But it's going to be fun to watch. It's a good division. The Raiders are better. The Raiders were better last year, believe it or not. They had their division record was 4-2. People don't realize that with the Raiders. Antonio got them going. Marvin's down there with him. With Chargers will be better. We know Kansas City's Kansas City. Sean Payton's with Denver now, and he'll get that thing going. So that's going to be a fun division to watch.
Yeah, back to Kansas City. We've never seen the three-peat before. Would you take Kansas City or the field right now?
As long as they got that quarterback 15, right? He makes everything, and no one can cover Kelsey. I say it every week. I said, can somebody cover the guy? Just cover the guy on a big moment. The ball's going to Kelsey. Everybody in the stadium knows it. I'm sitting there in the studio going, they're going to throw it to 87. Sure enough, 87 catches the ball. First down, Chiefs, right? Touchdown, Chiefs. And it's funny to watch. And I thought last year their defense really kind of set the table for them as they were trying to find their way. They weren't the offense everyone anticipated. And everybody said, what's wrong with this offense? Well, Andy Reid was just kind of, okay, we're going to be okay. And time the playoffs showed up. Patrick Mahomes shows up. And, and really, when you think about it, Buffalo had them on the ropes. Buffalo was their worst enemy. They turned the ball over twice there, and that cost them the game. But Buffalo really had them. But, lo and behold, here goes Kansas City. They find a way to win that one. I thought when they played the Ravens, for some reason, they thought Lamar Jackson was, I don't know, Y.A. Tittle or something, and he couldn't run. He was dropping back, throwing passes. I said, what happened to the run game? What offense am I watching right here? I was in the studio. I said, what is this? This is not the Baltimore Ravens. I said, Lamar Jackson's dropping back, trying to just throw passes every play. I said, what are we doing here? And so I think they figured that out, but they can't run that offense anymore. But Kansas City still, it's got to be one of the favorites. I like the Buffalo Bills. I do. I love that quarterback.
Yeah, I
think he's a really good player.
I don't know if it's in your ESPN contract or not, but I feel like I have to ask a question about the Dallas Cowboys. So, Dallas
we
Cowboys.
wouldn't be on air if it wasn't for the Dallas Cowboys.
Very true.
They're bigger than ESPN. That's what keeps ESPN afloat. We got to talk about the Cowboys.
Why won't they give Dak some money? I mean, I like Dak Prescott, the quarterback. Give him some money.
We all do. Problem is, I think if you're Jerry, and I've said this numerous times, they have a star-studded team on both sides of the ball. And I think Jerry's at a point in his career now, all of a sudden, and it's eerie, Dak Prescott is all of a sudden, and just my opinion, watching these guys, the Dallas Cowboys, and the history of it, and I go way back with the Dallas Cowboys now. I go back to Rockstar backing those guys. That's the teams I played against. They were very good. He reminds me now of Tony Romo. And I think if you're Jerry, you're looking at this and going, I'm paying all these star players all this money. My quarterback only has 2 playoff wins. 2. And he keeps saying this. He says since 1995, that was the last time they held up the trophy. That's a long time. I think if you're Jerry, they didn't do a whole lot. You're looking at this team and going, this team's good enough. They've won 36 games in the last 3 years. The only other team has won as many, Kansas City Chiefs, and they've won 2 Super Bowls. So the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, I think if you're Jerry, I don't know this. This is just me, an analyst and a head coach and a former player looking at all this. I'm going, why am I going to pay anybody? Let them play. And if it don't work out, I'm going to get a new quarterback. And Dak, if I'm Dak, I'm telling him, you know what? You ain't got to pay me. I'm going to bet on myself. And I'm going to play, and I'm going to get in the playoffs, and I'm going to win a couple playoff games, maybe get to the championship game, and then guess what? You're going to have to pay me a lot of money or I'm out. So I just think it works both ways. And if I'm Jerry, that's what I'm thinking. Now, I can't say Jerry's thinking that, but if I'm Jerry Jones and I was sitting in his seat, I'd go, look, every year we win games. We know how to win games. But when the playoffs start, they lost to the Green Bay Packers at home, guys. And I'm not saying the Green Bay Packers are a bad team. They're a good football team. They got a young defense, got an outstanding quarterback. Think about quarterbacks. You want to know who does it right? Is the Green Bay Packers. Think about this.
Oh, yeah.
If that quarterback, Love, stays there for 10 to 15 years, in the last 50 years, the Green Bay Packers have only had 3 quarterbacks. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Love. What organization in football has ever done that? 50 years only had 3 quarterbacks. The Green Bay Packers. That's it.
Coach, you always get us fired up. We appreciate the time. It's fun talking to you.
Hey, it's football, man. We get to watch tackle football finally.
Standing ovation, man. That was fantastic.
We're as excited
All
as you
right,
are. Thank you, Coach. Good to see you again.
My pleasure. God bless you all. Thank you.
You too, Coach. See you soon. That is Coach Herm Edwards with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online at JohnstonRVCenter.com. They love the United States military the way we do on this show. They know you are what makes the United States the greatest country in the universe. No questions asked about it. As a very, 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 very small way of saying thank you. They give you a great discount there, whether you're a veteran or you're active duty. They've repriced both those lots. Nationwide price guarantee. They'll beat any price on a comparable RV. That's nationwide. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online, JohnstonRVCenter.com.
I don't try to tell Taylor how to do her job, but
you don't.
But the
I
Cowboys.
find that hard to believe.
But the if I'm sitting in his chair,
That's right.
the Jerry Jones and tagging the Cowboys and all them on that should get some play today. And with the New York media, he took a cab. He didn't even Uber. He took a cab.
Didn't even need an Uber.
From New York to Philly.
That was vintage Herm. Herm was fired up today. I love it.
Didn't even take an Uber. He took a cab.
Yep.
Just great Herm Edwards there. Standing ovation right there. Back to college football we go later in the show. LT's got 4 downs for us. One other note that I've been asked about this in two different settings because of how crazy the NIL deal. So I had to look to see who they were. But the softball player from Texas Tech who went from Stanford to Texas Tech, who's getting $1 million NIL.
Yep.
Najari Kennedy, I believe, is her name. So I had to do a research on who's paying the money. It's John Sellers, who played football for Mike Leach at Texas Tech. His wife was a softball player at Texas Tech.
Okay.
They met at Texas Tech. When he left Texas Tech, he started, wait for it, Double Eagle Energy. He's in the oil and gas business.
It was our assumption.
Which was our assumption.
Yep.
Invited her to dinner and her family, and sits down at dinner, White Cloth Steakhouse in Lubbock. She's originally, Najari's from Topeka, Kansas.
Okay.
So she went from Topeka to Stanford. She asked the Stanford folks for NIL money, wanted a 7-figure deal. The best they could come up with at Stanford was $125,000, which is that's 6 figures, right?
That's pretty remarkable, though. I'll say it.
So she, after taking them to the College World Series, started shopping around. Her schools that she scheduled to visit with was her home state, Kansas, UCLA, longtime powerhouse in softball, Tennessee, longtime powerhouse in the SEC, Alabama, and then out of nowhere, Texas Tech says, hey, we want to pay some NIL money. She was going to visit those 4 places, and this guy jumps in there with a $1 million NIL deal settled at the Tablecloth restaurant in Lubbock.
And those 4 other schools said, don't bother.
Yeah, I mean, 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, this is what kind of sucks about this, though. Like, if you're Stanford, you gave her the scholarship, you helped kind of groom her and get her going in the right direction, and you can't afford to keep her.
You can't. I mean, but I'm also on the other side. I'm like, but I also can't tell her don't go get the best deal.
No, you're right.
I mean,
like what Herm just said, right?
I know.
Yeah, with Jaden Daniels, I mean, Arizona State couldn't afford him. You know, you go back to Stanford, like Andrew Luck. Now, Andrew Luck was probably one of these kids with his dad. Oliver probably had a bunch of money. It didn't really matter. But if you have a talent like Andrew Luck ever come to Stanford again, they're not going to stick. It's impossible.
I mean, but there again, when it comes to NIL, Texas Tech will not make their money. This guy will not make his money back on this.
He will not.
I mean,
He says in an athletic interview today that he's hoping for some Caitlin Clark-like phenomenon.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Alabama or Auburn or Tennessee went and spent $1.5 million on a quarterback, you could absolutely make that money back as a program.
Right.
Now, the booster might not be able to, but the program can make the money back. A softball program cannot make that money back. It is impossible. It is an impossibility to make that money back. So this is all just ego. Like, I just want this team to be good. And as long as that exists, I mean, how would Stanford compete with that?
What's the old car? Those big wooden squares where you walk into like lake houses. You see one that always says, "Happy wife, happy life."
Like you buy a Hobby Lobby or something.
Yeah. I mean,
great progressive commercial. By the way.
Those are good.
Happy wife, happy life. You missed the part where I said that his wife's a former Texas Tech softball player.
That's how he makes that money back. Well, it's a drop in the bucket. When I Googled Double Eagle. What was it? Double Eagle Industries or whatever?
Double Eagle Energy.
The first story is a recent $6.5 billion sale of one of their sites.
Yeah.
$6.5 billion of one of their sites.
He bought up a lot of the West Texas land at some point. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's a rounding error for him, $1.5 million. So this is nothing.
Yeah. So that was we.
But if
we guessed he was in the oil and gas business, we were right. He was in the oil and gas business.
But if I am Joey McGuire, now, I could do something if I got a guy like that.
Yeah, I brought this up yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, why? I'm like...
Well, he is in charge of their collective.
Okay, well, if I'm Joey McGuire...
Yeah, but if you got 1.2, 1.5 to give to a softball player, I've got a quarterback. I need $5 million.
If I'm Joey McGuire, I could change my stripes in the Big 12 in a hurry with this guy.
Yeah, basketball and football. All right.
Of course, Pat Mahomes couldn't win there, but...
He did. He got him to whatever Houston Bowl or whatever it was.
Who was Leach's quarterback with Crabtree? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was.
Because they won more with that guy than they did Pat Mahomes.
Was it not?
He ended up in the NFL. He played in the NFL.
He did.
I cannot say his name.
It wasn't Case
right
McKeenum,
now.
was it?
No.
Nope.
Case Keenum was at Houston.
Okay.
Yeah. As soon as he's Texas Tech quarter. He played
Graham
in the NFL.
Harrell. Yeah,
it was Graham Harrell.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Volfan205 Daniel over in the My Bookie and M Wires and Cody and Mark
And everybody now.
and G Curbo.
Yeah.
All the guys who over in the mybookie.ag chat room. LT, tell us about Dr. B. We'll get to 4 downs coming up in the next segment. And in the 11 o'clock hour, we'll go to Tennessee and A&M campus. Their coaches and quarterbacks talking as camps have opened up, and we'll revisit Alabama camp as well. Dr. B, revisiting your hairline from the 90s.
Again, I had no idea that I was thinning out when we started this. When I would turn to the side and we were doing interviews, I was like, oh my God, I'm thinning out. Nobody told me because I'm almost 6'3". When I look in the mirror, everything looks fine. And I was getting my hair cut, our buddy Roni yesterday. I was like, how's it looking in the back? And he's like, you're actually growing some follicles. So he's like, the thickness up here is really good. This is coming in a little bit better. Again, I'm just all about maintaining where I am in life right now. If you know somebody, be preemptive on this. The quicker you get in front of it, the better opportunity Dr. B has at saving these hair follicles. I do the non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time, all on the couch. That is it for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. Call, schedule the consultation today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
Follow LT on Twitter at @thelancetaylor.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
By the way, before we get to four downs, a couple of other NFL notes. Trayvon Diggs, former Alabama DB, was lost before the Week 3 game with the Cardinals last year. Off the PUP list, back working at Cowboys camp. That's a big addition. Speaking of stars, two-time Pro Bowler back there, great corner. No Aaron Rodgers in the preseason. Not going to surprise anybody there. He's not going to play any preseason snaps there. DJ Moore, 4-year, $110 million wide receiver, one-time Panther, right?
Yep.
When they drafted Bryce, they traded him away. The best weapon went to Chicago there.
Well, they get DJ Moore and they got that number 1 overall pick.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
it was an incredible deal for the Chicago Bears. And DJ Moore was really productive last year with bad quarterback play, or not great quarterback play. And if Caleb Williams can be as electric as a lot of people believe, DJ Moore can be a massive weapon.
That's right. So the Panthers gave up DJ Moore and their number 1 pick from last year's draft to get number 1 and take Bryce Young, right?
Right. And then Bryce Young had nobody to throw to because they did that.
And no offensive line.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of problems.
And waiting to see how that. And to circle back to Broncos camp, apparently those that are watching camp, Bo Nix got work with the ones yesterday. Jarrett Stidham has gotten the most snaps with the ones. And the questions have been, will Zach Wilson get any work with the ones? Sean Payton said, quote, "We'll see," end quote. Zach Wilson's only 24 years old, and it seems like we're closer to the end than the beginning.
Yeah, he's
right?
Josh Rosen. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have. I do think he's more Josh Rosen. I would say the same thing about Sam Darnold. I mean, both of those guys, Zach and Sam, have opportunities, though. And could it be more of that with Josh Rosen, or could it be more Baker Mayfield?
Josh Rosen was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. He was drafted in the first round and played 4 teams in 4 years.
Number 10 overall, by the way.
Number 10 overall, 4 teams in his first 4 years as the number 10 draft pick. I mean, how does that even happen? But you feel like that is – Zach Wilson hadn't been that bad. He was in New York longer than that. But you kind of feel like he's on the Josh Rosen path right now.
Tell us about our friends at Hemp Hill LT.
205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys at Hemp Hill Services. If you experience any heating, cooling, or plumbing issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Trust the name Birmingham's trusted since 1954 for all of those issues. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Okay, before we get to four downs, give me Lunceford's mic on the back row. Lunceford, I see links have been sent out or whatever, just so we can give a little play for the chat room football league. What's happening over there now?
Yes, the link has been sent out. It's coming from Josh. It's not coming from me. He's the organizer of this, but if you sent your email, I forwarded it along.
I got my link.
Oh, you're in?
I'm in.
All right.
I sent him your Gmail to do it. I don't know if you wanted to do it or not.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in. Do you need me this year?
Is that your ESPN account, your Gmail?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I'll send
I mean, I was on G, sitting on G, waiting on O as the great Trooper Taylor, right?
Yeah, Trooper Taylor's the first one I heard
sitting
say
on
that.
G, waiting on O, man.
So do you have
last year? I would have helped you out last year.
Do you have enough out of the MyBookie.ag chat room now?
We have 14 people now.
Okay,
so,
the league is full.
Oh, so it's full now.
It is full.
Okay, so
Wow,
I'm out.
that was quick.
No, I sent him.
I've got a spot saved.
I sent him you, Lance, Taylor and Scott. So I don't know if you'll get an email or not.
Well, in honor of Jimmy Buffett, we'll crank up the Coral Reef for Admirals and go attack the league. Absolutely. Rockstar?
Rocky, all right.
We were clipped.
All right, Four Downs brought to you by our friends at Slice. Tell us about Slice and we'll get to this.
Yeah, stop in today, get a slice and a salad. Any of those 5 locations, the original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montebello, Crestline Park, the newest location in Edgewood, from the Hot Mama to the Soul Pie to the Bajayi Special. You're going to love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
A.J. Green, 36 years old today. If I asked you which former Georgia great had the better NFL career, A.J. Green or Todd Gurley?
How old is A.J. Green now?
36.
Dang. I'm going to say Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley for me.
It's crazy. Those two in Stafford were on that same offense, and they didn't win.
You know, A.J. Green
didn't win a championship.
The early 2010s was a 2-time first pro, or all-pro, first team. I think you can make an argument at that point he was the best wide receiver, but then Gurley, what he was able to do in 17 and 18, you know, winning the NFL's most valuable offensive player, getting the Rams to a Super Bowl, and if he would have been 100%, the Rams, they score more than 13 points, in my opinion, with that offense.
So does that mean Julio is also around 36?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were the same time.
Time flies.
Yeah, so I would go Todd Gurley too. Both were tremendous players.
Yeah, that's a tough call. I know you fell out of love with Gurley at the end, didn't you?
Well, I did because, you know, I would take the losses harder.
Yeah, than Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
Second down.
AJ had problems. I mean, who was his quarterback early on? I mean, he was really good, but
Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
I mean, not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, the Ginger Cowboy.
And then he had some injury issues for a bit. Gurley, my answer.
Wesley Snipes, 62 today. Wesley Snipes or Wes Craven? Better career. Craven left us about a decade ago.
Oh, it's got to be Wes Craven because of Scream and Freddy Krueger.
You had Scream and The Nightmare.
If you had not said that, I would have said Wes Craven, man. All the Marvel stuff that he's done.
But Wesley Snipes, for a minute, was the top action star.
Yeah.
I didn't see Wes Craven in Passenger 57.
Yeah, but Wesley Snipes, I mean, White Man Can't Jump's a great role too, right?
Oh, Wesley Snipes was an A-list actor for a minute.
What's his Godfather? Give me his Godfather.
Wesley Snipes' Godfather would be New Jack City as Nino Brown. I'm kidding. I don't know if he's got one.
Major League?
I think it probably would be White Man Can't Jump.
He was Willie Mays Hayes?
Yeah.
Is that Wesley Snipes too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Wesley Snipes now. Yeah, I mean, now that I see
maybe Blade. Is Blade maybe? I never saw any of the Blades.
I don't know if it made a ton of money, but you know, he was in that reboot, not reboot, but technically a sequel of The Fugitive, U.S. Marshals.
With Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the roles, like when he got the lead with Sean Connery, I think it was in Rising Sun. It wasn't a good movie.
It's a Michael Crichton book.
Yeah, but I mean, the expectation was that was going to be a blockbuster. So he was definitely an A-list guy back in the day.
Lunceford says he had the highest grossing movie of this past weekend. Is that true, Lunceford? What movie is he in?
He may or may not have had the highest grossing movie of this past weekend.
Oh, there you go, Deadpool.
Yeah.
If Deadpool's not the highest grossing movie, that is a...
I'm not trying to spoil things. But
that's a problem, right?
He may or may not have been in that.
So he may or may not be in Deadpool?
Yeah, so I think that's what Lester's getting at.
Chris said Craven also did Serpent and the Rainbow. That is a freaky movie, by the way.
Oh, the people under the stairs was a scary-ass movie.
I didn't see that one.
I cannot
I can
believe...
only imagine if you got people under the stairs, though, that would not be good.
Got Ving Rhames in it. It's rough.
I can't believe what Brody is saying in the MyBookie.ag chat room. U.S. Marshals better than The Fugitive.
That's
not even the same category. It's
You know what we need in the chat room? A button to be able to hit. And you're like in timeout, like in hockey. You're 2 minutes in the penalty box. Brody
was Brody in U.S. Marshals?
I don't know. There is no way that's better than The Fugitive. The Fugitive is fantastic. U.S. Marshals is good.
Yeah, I'm just not a horror guy, so I'm going to go Wesley Snipes. Yeah. But Craven probably does.
Please watch this replay real quick.
What
of this?
This Chinese guy,
and then does onto his head.
But that was not planned.
Yeah. So if that's the little guy in Ocean's 11, the whole heist is gone.
Watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not certain that's not the little guy at Ocean's 11.
It could be.
Third down.
Mark Cuban, speaking of time flying, is 66 years old today. If I asked you better career, Mark Cuban or Mark Wahlberg?
I mean, Cuban's made way more money.
I think you'd be surprised with Wahlberg's producing credits, the money that he's made from Entourage to Boardwalk Empire. I mean,
Shark Tank, man.
Most of the movies he's done, like The Daddy's Home, I think he was producers on those.
I mean, I just don't think you can compare money. I would say Wahlberg has.
I mean, to go from having maybe a number one song, Good Vibrations, I don't know. But at least a top 10 back in the day, being an underwear model, being an Academy nominated, Academy Award. He was at least nominated for an Academy Award. He never won one.
Yeah, but I mean, I was about to say Wahlberg has been better at his craft than Cuban has, but I don't know that that's the case. I mean, Cuban he turned basically an idea of play-by-play on radio into a billion-dollar industry,
and really was one of the first heavy hitters on the high definition.
Yeah, and I mean, his show like Rockstar, Shark Tank's a very popular show. I mean, it has been a successful show, and he's owned an NBA franchise, which he sold.
So the majority part of it.
Yeah, but that you're going to make a profit. You're going to make a profit on that.
And there is a big difference, obviously, in $5 million and $400 million. But I think once you get to that $400 million territory, it's money you can't spend.
Yeah. Plus a little crossover in Entourage that Wahlberg produced. Cuban buys the tequila from Turtle in Entourage.
Hey,
so I'm going to go Cuban.
Lunceford, what's the deal on Mark Cuban's insurance? He's providing like prescriptions now.
Yeah, it's like, I don't remember what exactly it's called, but it's basically selling it at cost. So instead of marking it up like a lot of people do, or for insurance or whatever, he sells it at what it actually costs to make, so that you can get it super cheap.
So basically, I can go buy my prescriptions for Mark Cuban at cost, essentially.
Basically, and Amazon's doing. Everybody saw that model, and a lot of other people are doing it. So he's not the only one now, but kind of the way he was revolutionary with like online streaming and everything, he's kind of revolutionary with this too.
Well, that's good, man. I think our medical, unfortunately, our medical care is kind of a joke. It's not kind of a joke.
Yeah. Well, the care is not. The pricing is.
The pricing, yes. Well, I mean, you've got the elderly that can't afford their medication.
Yeah, I mean, for instance, my wife is a type 1 diabetic. You look at what insulin costs to produce and what our insurance pays for my wife's insulin is insanity. Yeah. It's absolute insanity.
Fourth down.
We almost need to change the whole insurance medical system.
Literally, my wife will die without insulin. This is not something she takes for vanity or anything like that. She literally will die if she doesn't have insulin. Well, and thank God I have been blessed enough we can afford it and we got insurance.
It's a money thing too. I know somebody that was on a transplant list and was about to pass away, and they had enough money that they got to the top of the list, and unfortunately you might have an 8-year-old little girl that can't get to the top of the list. J.K. Rowling, 59 years old today. I know the back room's going to go nuts here. J.K. Rowling or John Grisham?
Oh, that's a heck of a question. Now, Rowling's
going to make more money. She's probably sold more worldwide copies with that franchise. But the thing about Grisham, I think he's had like 40 number one hits. Or 40 bestsellers?
40 bestsellers, and then look at the movies.
Nothing's going to touch Harry Potter.
It's not going to touch Harry Potter. I agree with that, but
I bet it's done, right?
No.
I bet he sold at least half what she sold.
Okay, so it's only half. With how many books did he write?
But I would say Grisham showed more depth than she did.
It was all courtroom stuff.
Yeah, but it was different stories from the courtroom. Like Harry Potter is one.
She came up with one nerd kid that wanted to be a wizard, and then they ran with it.
Yeah, she came up with one set of characters. He recreated characters every single time.
Mark Zuckerberg came up with one website. I mean, what a loser.
Whose career would you rather have, JK's or Grisham's?
Yeah, not even close.
Either.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm not going to fight you.
Yeah, I would.
I liked Grisham. He was a good Southern boy.
I've never read a J.K. Rowling book.
That's your loss.
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh, so you're the one. Okay.
Yeah. No, there's two, and I think there's three.
I've never read one. I've never read one, but my daughter likes Harry Potter, so I've seen the movies.
So you've seen the movies, so that counts.
Okay, I've not seen the movies.
That guy again.
I always watch the movie.
It's like comparing Taylor Swift and George Strait. Not talking about necessarily quality of work, but I would much rather have Taylor Swift's career, right? Or is that what?
That's not even Taylor Swift and George Strait. That's Taylor Swift and some other jelly roll or something. I mean,
that's insanity. Grisham's better than jelly roll.
All I know about Harry Potter, they fly around in some brooms.
Yeah,
they do. It's called Quidditch.
And Dobby looks kind of like a Vizsla.
What?
No, there's no. I mean, God only know how much has she made, Lance? Do you know?
A lot.
Oh, I know it's a lot.
Over $30,000.
Wasn't she living in her car?
Yeah, she was broke. She was flat broke, right?
Or do they embellish that a little bit?
Well, I'm sure it's somewhat
She had like a
embellished.
2-bedroom flat in downtown London.
May as well
She
be in
was
my car.
slumming
It was called the Car Building.
KARR. That is Four Downs, brought to you by Slice, while Lunceford looks up net worth here.
I can't even imagine what a net. Well, I mean, both these net worth has got to be close to $1 billion, right?
I would think it's billion.
5 locations. Stop by, go see the Bajaya brothers, created by the late Jeff Bajaya. His legacy continues to be celebrated by his brothers Jason and Chris. 5 locations. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
Any financial totals, Lunceford, Rockstar?
$1 billion is what it says.
For rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised it's that low.
Yeah, I am too.
I'd have guessed like $3 billion.
What is it for Grisham?
I bet his is, if she's $1 billion, his is probably half $1 billion.
Yeah, I'd say 250.
Like, did he get executive producer credits on those movies?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would factor into that, right?
Yeah.
400 million.
400
million.
Still pretty good life.
Yeah, so Lunceford's right. He's about half the success as she was.
Him and Mark Wahlberg, same
Mark and
net
Mark.
worth.
When you and Laurel go to Disney, Lunceford, do you enjoy the Grisham rides?
You like the runaway jury train?
Man, we're going on the chamber. This thing's supposed to end bad.
Our friends at Way to
Everybody take your shirt off. It's time to kill.
Our friends at Way to Wellness. Planforme.com is the website of planforme.com. We have a lot of fun with Melton and Lunceford on the Meltdown every day at 2 Central. Today's trivia day, if I got my Meltdown days correct. Trivia day on the Meltdown at 2 o'clock. They are melting down before our eyes, losing weight thanks to our friends at Way to Wellness. You can go on the website, planforme.com, planforme.com. No cookie cutter plan. Lunceford's plan is different than Melton's, which is different than mine. Everything designed specifically for you when you go there. The program overseen by Leslie and her board-certified professionals. There are no contracts, no sign-up fees, and you get that free consultation that you're seeing on your screen right now. The website, again, is planforme.com, planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, we're going to hear some camp news and revisit some of the stuff we saw earlier today from Alabama. In this segment, this hour, always brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. By the way, Herm Edwards, fantastic earlier. If you missed that, podcasted audio-wise at Spotify and Apple and all the YouTube channels, champyschecken.com. Bringing you the show today, bringing you the best tailgates in the world. Thanks to that Southern Fried Chicken, hand-cut chicken fingers, Mississippi Delta recipe, tamales, and so much more. Highway 119 in Alabaster, not far from Thompson football kicking off. Always a great place if you're from the Birmingham metro area, driving down to a Thompson game from Vestavia or Homewood or somewhere like that, Hoover. You swing by Champy's on the way and pick up a tailgate package or just enjoy an early dinner there at the 119 store. Sterling's been there for over a decade. Champy'sChicken.com, Champy'sChicken.com. Before we bounce around to some of the sound bites, Rockstar, let's go back video-wise, Forrester, if we can, to Alabama camp, which opened up earlier. Video first from Emily Grace McWhorter, who sent it in. Just some of the camp video. Auburn opens up tomorrow, but Bama out there today. And just the observation of Bama being on camp. We spoke earlier about storylines. Revisit storylines. You guys, Lance, one thing you're watching in this camp?
Well, obviously the narrative coming in is going to be, the first year in 17 seasons we haven't seen Nick Saban and Caleb DeBoer taking this thing over. But to me, the storyline is one thing you could count on for Alabama was defense. And even when you had some incredible offenses going back to 2020, the defense was always there. I think there are major question marks with this defense. I think ultimately they're going to be okay, but I could see a lot of blown assignments early on. I could see Alabama have to get into the high 30s, low 40s to win some of these games.
Yeah, I mean, when Nick Saban says, I've got questions about the secondary, I think you pay attention to that, right? And Kane Womack, the guy that is on the screen if you're watching us right now, is the guy that's got to answer those questions, and his defense obviously depends heavily on the secondary. Roman Harper has done a tremendous job twice on this show now of breaking down how different it will be going from the Saban philosophy to the Kane Womack philosophy.
Like if you would have seen LSU's offense last year against this defense this year, I mean, you favor LSU's offense, right?
Probably so.
It's going to be different with Nussmeier, Jaden Daniels, Denbrock's gone now, calling the plays, but that LSU offense with the holes in this defense, I don't know what they would have scored.
I will tell you what has been the takeaway, the piece of video that has gone viral that EG sent back from camp and Little T put out at Next Round Live is Kane Womack in a sweatsuit. And everybody's like, my God, this man is a psychopath wearing a sweatsuit in Alabama in the summer. You see a lot of coaches do this. And as I pointed out, the one thing Kane will face, and we have all faced this as men in the Deep South, I do not know if this happens to the ladies. I know it happens to the men because it happens to me all the time. He's going to go back in and take a shower, and 30 seconds after that water turns off, that sweat's coming right back.
Yep.
I hate that.
That is the worst feeling.
It is an awful feeling, and you end up sticky the rest of the day.
Yeah, but you should have a cool down period before.
I don't know how long it has to last.
Yeah. Like, I'll have like late afternoon meetings sometimes, and so I'll go home. If I haven't worked out in the morning, I'll try to get a workout in. You got to time traffic and everything. You get out of the shower, you try to have that, or get done with a workout, try to have that 10-minute cool down. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. You get in the shower, and Brown's right, man. You got that sweat on your back. And
I've waited 30 minutes. I've waited 30 minutes before, and it comes right back.
See, yesterday I played golf. It was 105 heat index, and out at Bent Brook. And then I went to our great sponsor, Walk-Ons, had a couple of nice Bud Lights, cooled off, got home, showered, didn't have that problem. Worked out good.
That's totally an hour, though. That's an hour.
Well, I apologize to the guy who was sitting next to me at the bar. But
I bet he loved it. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
What'd you order?
He didn't scoot down, but it.
But even if you get in that car and you've got the AC blowing as hard as it can, and you are just profusely sweating.
Yep. I can't stop, and I'll go take a shower. And I don't even do the hot shower. Like I do a hot shower in mornings, but after that, I'll do either the mid or maybe even slightly cold shower.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. That internal temperature does not go down.
All right. So that was Bama camp. ABC 3340 sent us some video of Ryan Williams. Everybody wanted to see him out there with the Tide. Didn't go through spring. I'm right about that, right? He wasn't there for the spring, if I remember correctly. Am I right, Forrester?
I think you're right.
I think I'm right about that. So that's the first look at Ryan Williams on the field for Alabama from our friends at ABC 3340 there, wearing that Crimson 2 with the white jerseys for the offense there today.
I wonder if he will lead Alabama in receiving and Cam Coleman will lead Auburn in receiving. I feel like those are the betting favorites right now.
They might be the betting favorites, but it would be hard to believe you would have two true freshmen lead their teams in the SEC year one.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you think if we polled the audience that most people think Ryan Williams leads Alabama and Cam Coleman leads Auburn?
I think you'll get a lot of Jeremy Bernard because of his familiarity with the system.
One would think.
I think you'll get some Kendrick Law.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a guy that's under the radar. Y'all aren't giving me any other Auburn guys. It sounds like y'all feel like Cam Coleman might be the better bet then.
The kid from Georgia State.
Yeah, I mean, they've got two.
The kid from Penn State.
I know. They've got two transfers in.
Yeah, pick another state.
They got two transfers in.
It's Lambert, right? Kendrick Lambert Smith or something like that.
I mean, I don't know that I would bet that both of them do. Here's the way I'd put it. If better chance, I don't know. A four downs coach would be better chance, but I think one of those two will. I think either Ryan Williams will lead Alabama.
Both, one, or none. How about
I'll go one. One would be my play there. I think either Cam Coleman will lead Auburn or Ryan Williams will lead Alabama.
I think I would go none. I think I would play the percentages of a true freshman. I mean, how many times can you go back in SEC history and look at a true freshman leading them in receiving yards?
I would say the last time it happened at Alabama was Julio Jones, but I'm not 100% certain.
I wouldn't feel great gun to head.
Oh, you don't think Julio did that in 09, 08?
I don't know.
I don't think he did. I think there was one little guy.
One little guy?
Yeah, one little guy whose name slips me that made a lot of catches in 08.
I don't remember anybody with
Slade Bolden.
Yeah, it wasn't Slade Bolden. It was.
All right, so 2008 Alabama offensive stats.
Yeah, I think it was.
I swear, I think it was Julio.
No, I think it was little guy.
Little guy. I mean, Dunaway, you can't just keep saying little guy.
Mays.
Your receiving leader,
Marquise Mays,
in yards that year was a guy we like to call Julio Jones, but you guys are close. He only had it by 600 yards.
Okay, so
the next guy was Nick Walker, not a little guy.
Did you go 09 or 8?
This is 08.
Okay.
Oh wait, that was his freshman year. I swear, I think that's the last freshman to do it at Alabama.
Yeah,
I can't think of another one.
It doesn't happen a lot.
No, it does not.
So
happen a lot.
I would bet against it, but I'm not going to be shocked.
Yeah. Kevin quickly with Marquise Mays as well. So
not the little guy you were thinking of.
He was the little guy I was thinking of, Cody. He was over in the mybookie.ag chat room.
If I gave Ryan Williams, Julio Jones freshman numbers, I mean, this is so weird, but you got to remember Alabama's offense back then. It just wasn't prolific. And 08 was actually pretty good. I mean, it was John Parker Wilson's best year. But he had 900. He had almost 1,000 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. It's hard to get 1,000 receiving yards and only 4 TDs.
Ran him into the end zone.
But he did it.
Our friends at HydroLive, by the way, John over in the mybookie.ag chat room, coaches wear sweats like that during camp
all the time
to gauge what the players are going through with their pads on, so he can work breaks and such like that into it. It's almost like he's got the pads on too in the sweat, so he can sort of keep
I think I'd let my grad assistant do that.
They also wear sleeves to keep the sun. They're out in the sun so much.
Yeah.
Like I've played golf with Kane Womack, and it was in the middle of the summer in Alabama. We were here local, and he was wearing a quarter zip just to keep the sun off his arms. And I even commented on it, and he's like, we were out in the sun so much that I just don't even risk it.
Yeah.
So that's part of it too. But now he didn't have to go full hoodie.
And I believe that it's a great time. You're going to be out there anyway. Just sweat some of the weight off. I think that's a good time to be in the sauna. HydroLive, though, can help you put those fluids back in if you're going through a camp.
HydroLiveTherapy.com. Boost that immune system with HydroLive Therapy. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, and boost your immune system, and much more. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, it's all under one roof. 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone, also a Tuscaloosa location. Very important. Mention in the next round, 20% off any of those great services. HydroLife Therapy, open daily 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Members rewarded with great deep discounts. You can recoup that IV membership fee in just one visit with that free IV bag every single month. Ask about memberships. Tell them the next round sent you. Again, 2 great locations in Birmingham, 1 in Tuscaloosa. It's HydroLife Therapy.
To clean up some dead wood here. That's our reference, old bowling reference when we make a mistake here.
Got some news coming up in the next couple of weeks.
That's right. We'll have some more dead wood to clean up. Calvin Ridley in 2015 as a freshman led Alabama in receiving. I'd forgotten about that.
Maybe I'm completely wrong on this.
1,045 yards, 7 touchdowns out of Calvin Ridley. Beat our Darius Stewart by about 300 yards to lead. So technically it is Calvin Ridley in 2015, the last freshman. Amari Cooper has done it since Julio Jones.
Yep.
So here's another one. 999 yards, 11 touchdowns in 2012 as a freshman. So in the last, decade or so of Alabama football, it's not that uncommon for a freshman to lead them in receiving.
The guy we're about to hear from, chance he's in all sweats today as Tennessee is on the field. Josh Heupel gets asked if he's happy where the Tennessee Volunteer Program is right now. Here's Josh.
Coach, I don't think you ever really wanted to talk about a timetable 4 years ago, but I mean, is this about where you envision things going? Do you feel like you're ahead of schedule? Are you happy with, kind of just the journey to this point?
Yeah, we've never set a ceiling on who and what we can be. I think that was a huge part of the buy-in from our players is that we overtook the program. It's been instrumental in us competing to be our best every single day. With all the things that we inherited and had to navigate through, I am really proud of what we've done as a program, players and coaches together, to navigate that space. When I first got here, I used the verbiage of speed bumps. There were speed bumps that we had to navigate. We've handled that in a really positive way. You look at the trajectory of where we're going on all sides of it. Couldn't be more excited about where we have an opportunity to get to. We're in a race to get there as fast as we can. We got to be diligent and intentional in the way that we compete every single day.
He sounds just like Nate Bargatze, the comedian, by the way, if you just listen to him and don't look at him. I have talked myself.
Doesn't look like him.
He does not look like him. I have talked myself into being really excited for this Tennessee-NC State game in week 2.
It should be because NC State's really good. We've been telling you how good NC State could be.
Tennessee could be looking ahead a little bit.
Yeah, what do they have the next week?
Well, in 2 weeks they've got Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, they've got Kent State after that, and then at Oklahoma to open SEC play for Oklahoma. We've talked about NC State maybe being a little bit. I think they'll start in the top 20, probably. You guys think so?
We got them at 25, I think.
So maybe top 25. Tennessee is going to be. They're going to be in the top 15. I just think that's going to be I think you'll know a lot about Tennessee after that game. I think it's going to be a really good test. That's a good quality, top quarter ACC team that you're playing in a neutral site. I think you'll get a pretty good feel for Tennessee after that.
First AP poll comes out 2 weeks from yesterday, I believe, is when the first AP poll will come out. Nico Imalieva is the quarterback at Tennessee, and Nico had a chance to talk to the media yesterday as camp was opening up about playing on the road more than at home. That seems to be something he enjoys more, away from Neyland Stadium.
I definitely love road games more than home games. I don't want to upset, our Neyland fans. I love playing in Neyland Stadium, but I feel like, away games, I just feel like all the odds are against you. Gives you a little more. Just gives you a little bit more, that feeling that you get. Yeah, you could say focus. I think there's plenty of other words that you can use, but going on the road is something I've always loved to do since a young age. So,
one of the most fascinating players in America, right there, to me. To see what
I agree.
You get out of him.
And whether or not this comes to fruition, he could be the best quarterback on that campus since Peyton Manning.
Yeah, and if he is that. I mean,
they'll be in a college football playoff.
A team that's in the playoffs
the next couple of years.
Yeah, it's competing for the playoffs this year and the playoffs coming up.
So the question that Josh got asked, where the program is right now, was he happy with where the program is right now? If you're a Tennessee fan, are you happy where the program is now, where Josh is taking the program?
Yeah, I'm really fascinated, though, as you roll into year 4. Are we going to get more of the 11-win Hendon Hooker or more than 9-win Joe Melton. Like, I'm really confident as a Tennessee fan that we can maintain 9 wins. But can we win at a consistent level, 10 or 11, to get us into the college football playoff?
Yeah, I mean, at Oklahoma is an interesting game for them, but I think that could potentially be their only loss going into the Alabama game. If I'm undefeated going into the Alabama game, who I host, and then I got a bye after that, I feel like I'm in really good shape. Because past that, Georgia is my only difficult game. It is a front-loaded schedule for them. So if I can get past Alabama with just the one loss, I feel like I'm a college football playoff contender right there. Or if I'm undefeated after Alabama, I know I am.
A glance at the Smoky Mountains shows us that Mother Nature is ready for this third Saturday in October. The leaves are crimson and orange as we come to Neyland Stadium. Mike
so
Elko, LT, he's talked himself into thinking this could be an interesting team. Mike Elko, as camps open up in College Station, on what he is looking to get out of this camp opens up. Here's Coach Elko going to work.
I think what we're trying to do in camp is establish what we believe winning football looks like. We talk a lot about playing consistent winning football, and that to me is not focused on the result. It's not focused on, because in camp sometimes you can get jaded, right? You can get a sack because the offense misses an assignment, right, which isn't really winning football. You can throw a pass complete, make an explosive play because the defense busts a coverage, which isn't exactly winning football. And so we have these internal formulas for what winning football looks like in practice, and I think we're trying to hit those marks day in, day out consistently. And I think that's what you're trying to build. And I don't know that you say, hey, in the first week we've got to get here, in the second week we've got to get here. It's we want to go out with the amount of time we have with these guys in the summer now. Like, we expect tomorrow night when we go out for practice 1 that we are operating at full speed, ready to roll. There's no buildup.
So they'll be out a little bit later on tonight. First off, congratulations to everyone who covers Texas A&M on the normal pacing of a news conference. Secondly, I get the feeling you believe, Lance, that just his ability to manage the program and all the resources and all the talent gives him an advantage of where they were with Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit different for Elko because let's not forget that he went from A&M to Duke. So he kind of knows where the bodies are buried when he comes back to College Station. So I don't think the acclimation period is going to take nearly as long for Mike Elko. And I truly believe this. I know you guys thought I always dogged out Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher was a good coach, generational quarterback. It got really stale. I think Mike Elko is a better coach than Jimbo Fisher. Now, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'll need to see some more of that. I'm not going to, Jimbo did win a national championship, and I know it was with a generational quarterback, but he did win a national championship. But Elko can certainly be better at A&M than Jimbo was. I mean, Jimbo basically had one good year at A&M, and Elko, he could exceed that fairly easily. Again, that Week 1 game with them and Notre Dame, I think you judge Notre Dame so much more because they're so much further along under Marcus Freeman in that game, right?
Right.
But if Elko comes out and wins that game, the hype for this team, I mean, Lance, you've already got a little hype for them, but imagine the national hype if they beat Notre Dame Week 1.
Thought about this. I feel good about saying this is a big number, but if you gave me A&M, Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn, I feel almost 90% one of those 4 teams will make the college football playoff.
Say those again.
Tennessee, A&M, Auburn, LSU.
You think one of those 4,
yes.
90% chance makes the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And I think Auburn's kind of a long shot.
So that likely will leave out 2 of these 3 teams, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Missouri. If one of those make it.
Yes.
It'll likely leave out 2 of those 3.
Yeah.
Because you got Georgia and Texas auto in. You do.
Yeah.
I don't think Missouri's going to make it. Now, they've got a beneficial schedule the same with Ole Miss. If Ole Miss doesn't make it, they're never going to make it.
But, I mean, if Notre Dame wins that game by 10, everybody's like, Marcus Freeman, this is year 3 for Marcus Freeman, year 4, whatever it is. They're supposed to be there. That's where they're supposed to be.
It'll be no skin off Mike Elko.
Yeah. If A&M wins by 10, everybody's going to be like, holy crap. It's almost going to be like that Week 1 win for Billy Napier when they beat Utah. Everybody's like, because, again, I'll go back to that game. I know they've not been able to hold it up, but Florida, they had a different edge in that game under Napier against Utah. They just looked different.
They did. I will remind you that Cam Rising, couple interceptions, including the game-winning drive.
In the red zone.
Yeah. Into the end zone. That was very close to being not a marquee win for Billy Napier.
You're correct.
Cody says they drop Game 3 in the swamp.
It's a tough one. I mean, you open with Notre Dame, you host McNeese. It's your first road trip, and you're in the swamp, and that is a 2:30 kick on Saturday, September 14th. Now it's hot in Texas.
It could be a red hot Florida team at that point.
Now, I noticed on Mike Elko's statement there, we go out later tonight or tomorrow night. He ain't going to practice in the daylight.
He doesn't want the heat as they get started down deep in the heart of Texas there in College Station, the Bryan College Station area. All right, when we come back, we will get to Trash Today. This part of the show being brought to you by our friends at Champy's, world-famous fried chicken. They just took us on that camp tour around the Southeastern Conference. Sterling will take you on the tour of the South with it's not the tour of Italy like you get at Olive Garden. It's the tour of the South. You got the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got the Southern deep fried chicken that's brined over the night, the way Sterling's grandma used to do it. Hand-cut chicken fingers, all the wonderful sides. Sweet tea that'll make you kiss your mom.
What?
I don't know. I'm just trying to talk Southern.
Oh.
It's Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, you. School's coming back. Time to gear up. And at New Balance Birmingham, we know what's up. Before hitting the books, check out the looks. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them The Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemp Hill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention The Next Round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemp Hill Services, locally owned and operated independent train dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemp Hill Services. It's hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
People in the MyBookie.ag chat room say Brian Kelly did a better job of talking Southern than you.
Kiss your mama. Makes you want to slap your mama.
Slap your mama, but that's so good. You want to slap your mama. I never understood.
Never liked that one either. I'd rather kiss my mama on the cheek.
I was not going to slap my mom.
I wasn't weird trying to kiss her on the lips.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. Whatever you want to do, no big deal. Show being brought to you by our friends at Michelson. I'm going to pair up Cincinnati and Colorado on what is a surprising list after LT tells us about Michelson.
Yeah, make the phone call that I made over 2 decades ago, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toh. The next round, Cynthia. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I have the 2015 vision, better than 2020. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Again, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy Toh. The next round, Cynthia. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Our staff up here works. Go ahead, Brown.
No, I'm just laughing at this guy. Looks 50 years old. That's about to do gymnastics. I mean, dude doing
yeah,
gymnastics.
I mean, his hair is completely gone. He's got a full sleeve tat.
Yeah. He's pretty. No, missed it. He's from the Ukraine. Tough life over there. Sorry.
Bragging about our staff, they work all the time. I'm at dinner last night, and Forrester sends me this show content here. The most expensive tickets right now in college football coming up this year. On the list, it's the top 20 most expensive games. You will find on there Cincinnati at Colorado, number 10 on the list, $303 get-in price for Cincinnati at Colorado. These are the most expensive tickets right now in college football. No surprise at the top of the list. Texas at Texas A&M, big stadium, and the get-in is $625 right now.
I mean,
well, and the big question is A&M, or will those fans sell any of their tickets to Texas fans?
They try not to traditionally, but if
everybody's got a price,
if you're getting that kind of money.
And you're going to have some mixed marriages, too. I mean, you see that at the Iron Bowl where, husband's a Bama fan, wife's an Auburn fan, or vice versa.
Yeah. Navy Army, does that surprise anybody?
It does.
At $527 in a big stadium there in D.C.
Yeah, I did not know that ticket was quite that expensive for Army Navy.
Because that Redskins stadium, by NFL
they've
standards.
They've shrunk it some, though, but it's still pretty big by NFL standards.
Yep.
Wait. So Georgia at Ole Miss is cheaper than Indiana at Northwestern? Is that the Northwestern game that's going to be at
Wrigley
Wrigley?
Field?
Wrigley, yeah.
It's Wrigley Field.
They've played a couple at Wrigley.
Yep.
That one might actually be at that on-campus deal.
Yeah. But Texas, Michigan, $469 get in for that one. Look at Red River at $445. I'd imagine that runs about that price every year. If it's $445 this year, they play each other every year. It's nothing new there. Ohio State at Oregon, number 5 on the list.
Seems like a value.
$365, get in there for that one.
I mean, I'd pay $350 to watch that game.
Well, it doesn't seem like there would be a lot of bad seats. Now, I could be right, or I could be wrong. Alton could be further away from the field, the seating.
But it doesn't look like it, though. I'm like you. It doesn't look like they have big upper decks, and it seems like everything's on top of it there. If you've been to Autzen in the chat room, mybookie.ag chat room, let us know if there's any bad seats there. It seems like a small, quaint, loud stadium. Notre Dame at A&M. A&M on that list, 2 in the top 6. Georgia at Texas. Tennessee at Georgia. Alabama at Tennessee, and massive nailing, $339 get in right now for that one. Georgia at Alabama, Tuscaloosa, the highest rated Alabama game at home, number 11 on that list, $300 to get in.
Back to Cincinnati, Colorado. Like, are we missing something? Like, is Deion Sanders going to return one punt with a half a foot? I mean, it might be worth it.
Is that there? Because I was looking 2 things real quick. You asked. The Indiana game is at that temporary stadium that they're playing
on
at.
Campus, so very few seats.
That's why that ticket is so expensive, because they got no seats there. I still can't believe it's that
if somebody
expensive.
paid you $275, you got to watch all 60 minutes and focus on that game.
Lance, if Northwestern Indiana were in my backyard, what would I ask them to do?
You probably have more seating in your backyard.
Tell them to keep it down.
Keep it down. I'm trying to watch football in here. Colorado and Cincinnati. I'm trying to look for a theme here. There isn't one. It's Saturday, October 26th. I don't really understand why that's such a big ticket.
The 4th Saturday in October, Brown.
Yeah, it's historic.
Yeah.
And so it's not homecoming.
It is not.
Maybe.
Their homecoming's Baylor. No, Colorado's homecoming's Baylor. It's not even homecoming.
Yeah.
You think there's is the game kicking off at 4:20? Is that why it's a big deal in Boulder?
I don't know.
They're going to celebrate pot?
I don't know. Alabama, Wisconsin, $240 get in, 20th on the list. Most expensive college football tickets from Scott Forrester there last night on our platform. That gets us to trash. It's brought to you every day by Mortgage Right, Rockstar, the massive button, please.
Hey, boys. So you got USFL football coming to town this weekend, huh? You excited about that?
Yeah.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right. It is buying season out there. Friends at Mortgage Right here to help. They are veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You can get more information by going to their website, mortgageright.com, or call the Birmingham office, 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Offbeat holidays in August. By the way, last day of July today.
Yeah, that's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah. I just hate the kids that got to go back to school next week.
I do too. The
next
8th,
week, right?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday is the day one.
Yeah. I got some rearrangement on my trip that I need to talk to you guys about anyway.
Does it involve next weekend? Because I'm going then too.
Are you going next Monday?
I don't remember. I'll have to check.
Monday?
Monday
Monday from like the 12th.
Oh, I'll be here. One of us will be here.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Brown just can't be gone this Monday.
No, I'm in this Monday.
No, I was supposed to leave for Boston tomorrow, and
so this is falling apart.
The Boston trip is falling apart. I've still got everything booked, but I need to make the decision if I'm canceling because I've had one of my travel party has tapped out. Leighton.
Oh dear, Leighton has tapped out. She doesn't want to see Metallica.
Well, I was like, are we supposed to move you this weekend? She's like, no, I'm moving the 15th, and I'm like, well, why? Well, she never was going to go see Metallica.
Oh, she wasn't.
She
wanted
to see Plymouth Rock.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard that is hugely disappointing.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's a small rock, right?
Well, yeah, and it's basically a rock on a shore.
Yeah.
I mean,
isn't it? I'm not joking here. I really believe that. Am I wrong here that the rock that they touch coming out at Clemson games is about the same size?
I'm actually
it's bigger than that.
surprised somebody hadn't snatched Plymouth Rock by now.
Rockstar.
Like
I
the
know you've got something else here. Right?
Like the Pilgrims landed on the shore.
Everybody touch that rock.
Touch that rock, getting off. We'll steal this one day at Clemson.
BYOC. Bring your own country and touch that rock.
Somebody immediately gets scalped after touching it.
Not at that point.
We're down 7-0.
At that point, my native people were very happy.
I mean, look at Plymouth Rock. So she wants to go see this.
Oh my goodness, they paint on it when they want to fire the Tennessee coach.
I think she was more excited about going to see some of the Salem witch stuff.
Yeah.
Which I kind of wanted to see that. I wanted to go to Martha's Vineyard, check out some of those great whites. But,
all right, so Plymouth Rock is basically in a zoo. Like, you can't even get down to it, and that's it.
Scott's going to get it.
Scott's going to get it? Okay. Google giving you some
There it is.
fits. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a rock in a zoo is all it is.
I'm telling you, the rock at Clemson's almost the same size. The one at Indiana is bigger than that.
Yeah, I think the one in Indiana is bigger than that. I like how they rake around it like it's a bunker.
Yeah.
Like you're going to play a sand shot out of there. Got to keep it neat.
Anyway, Sunday, August 4th is National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
Not my favorite cookie, but I do like chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, not my favorite either, but
not
I
my
do
favorite
like.
either.
Yeah, but it's the go. I mean, it's, you can easily eat it. You're not going to complain.
It eats good.
Yeah, it eats good. Don't
Tuesday, August 6th, National Fresh Breath Day.
Oh.
Don't forget, out of all days, chew gum that day.
He doesn't look like he's got it.
Yes.
His teeth are rough. His teeth.
Friday, August 9th, National Kool-Aid Day.
Boy, I had not had Kool-Aid in a long time. I used to love it as a kid.
Used to be a really good product.
Yeah.
Do they make sugar-free Kool-Aid? Because I
don't think so.
My Aunt Frances, I called it rat poison because she would, not only would she make it with the sugar-free, and she would put like a Splenda or something. It was before Splenda, whatever the substitute was.
Sweet and low.
And it had, it was sweet and low, and it had the worst aftertaste. So me and Shane called it rat poison. And then she'd put aluminum foil over the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's right.
Fresh.
Yeah.
But she would use the same piece of aluminum foil for like 6 straight months.
Yeah.
She would recycle her aluminum foil. And she had money.
Yeah, Francis is cutting quarters.
That's why she had money. She didn't
maybe.
spend it on aluminum foil.
Sunday, August 18th is National Fajita Day. Brown will be excited about that.
Love them.
Rude to your neighbors there.
We never told the story. Can y'all tell the story about the steak I ordered at the original?
Shreveport?
Yeah, we go to the Shreveport Superior Grill Rockstar, and Dunaway orders, was it the Crazy Javier?
No, it was the ribeye.
The ribeye.
It said nothing about this on the menu. It was a ribeye with 2 sides, so I got a salad and French fries.
And they serve it on the bed of fries, but the bed of fries is on the sizzling platter.
And it's coming out, and I was like, I even joked. I was like, "Oh, Brown, somebody got the fajitas."
I know, and
it keeps walking towards me.
It's Dunaway, they got it. But here's the thing: the fries are just getting scorched on this. I mean, it just keeps smoking.
It was on fire.
It was on fire.
I've ordered some bad meals.
That was a bad one.
It is top 10 worst meals I've ever had.
Yeah. But shout out Superior.
And then finally, August 24th is National Waffle Day.
Love waffles.
Yeah, me too.
So much better than pancakes.
I even like them. We make them homemade that look like that at the house. But I even like the Eggos.
Oh, I love Eggos.
Of the frozen foods, I
Yes.
think waffles is the thing we got the best.
I think Eggos, like, you could give me high-end Belgian waffle or Eggo. I'm fine either way. I like an Eggo waffle.
I like an Eggo, but you can tell the difference.
You can tell the difference, but I'm fine with an Eggo.
Okay, because of a local coffee place, I've got where I do this. I'll get an Eggo, toast it crunchy. I'll fry 2 eggs, throw a little a redneck cheese on it that you guys hate, Kraft wrapper cheese, and put a little bacon on that, and make a little waffle, egg, cheese, and bacon sandwich.
Good Lord, how many calories is that thing?
Look at this body.
I like. Do you like the blueberry Eggo?
No.
Oh, I do.
No.
Yeah.
Natural.
My mom used to buy blueberry syrup too. I'd get the blueberry Eggo and put blueberry syrup on it when I was a kid.
I think one of the reasons IHOP went out of business, if they did, I know around here it seems like they've cleaned out.
I think there's one on Hoover.
But they had like every flavor of syrup
They
on
really
your, on
did.
your table.
You have strawberry, blueberry.
But I didn't like that. Did you?
No,
I like the original
syrup.
Yeah.
Cobb County Emergency Cruise.
Scott's got,
We got
video of Dunaway's meal.
The fries just kept
I mean,
cooking.
the fries, they're just scorched.
And whatever that was,
That's lava. It's white lava.
We never figured out what that was, whether it was butter or cheese. It boiled the whole meal.
Yeah.
But that location was so amazing. I love that building. I just ordered the wrong thing.
Such a nice personality.
Yeah. Cobb County Emergency Crew successfully retrieved a man who fell 50 feet down a well while looking for his cell phone late Thursday night.
Found it.
Lassie, somebody's in trouble?
Now, Lieutenant
man?
Steve Bennett of the Cobb County Fire and Emergency Services said their rescue operation began around 10 p.m. Thursday when the man's son called police saying that dad was missing. Now, the son said his father had lost his phone earlier in the day in the same woods, went back to search for it, and never came home. Officers said the man's vehicle was found at the scene, heard his phone in the woods. While searching, one officer heard the man screaming, found him at the bottom of a 30-foot deep well. Firefighter was lowered down into the well, was able to secure the man and help crews get him out safely. While the extent of the man's injuries is unknown, Bennett said the man was alert and is expected to survive the ordeal. They went on to say at night, not a good idea to walk around the woods without a flashlight. How in the hell do you fall 50 feet into a well and survive?
I don't think it's an above ground well. Like, I think that's just a hole in the ground.
Yeah, like you could never see it, could you?
Well, that's the way. I mean, that's the way the wells are, right? They used to dig them deep until you hit water and pump them out.
Buffalo Bill had one in his basement, didn't he?
Had a cool basket.
Very few people survive well falls.
That was a dead-on hit right there, Lance. Do y'all remember? I was a kid in the '80s when that old girl fell in that well.
Oh yeah,
and got stuck. What was her name?
I was a baby, right?
Yeah, it was a baby.
Yeah,
Jessica. Baby Jessica, I think.
What happened to her, Rockstar?
I think she's still around. Like, she's probably
She's got an OnlyFans.
Kids.
No, she doesn't. She's
don't
writing
know.
new books. She's the J.K. Rowling of this generation.
Jessica McWhorter is her name. Y'all think she's still with us?
I think she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
She
Age
survived
38.
that ordeal for a reason. I bet she's doing something in the motivational arena right now.
I don't have what she is doing right now, Lance. Last entry on Wikipedia. This will probably give you an indication of what she's doing. When she turned 25 in 2011, she received a trust fund composed of donations from around the world.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Damn.
Oh, no. She indicated a great deal of the fund was lost in the 2008 stock market crash. That's unfortunate.
She's a bad investor.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, somebody invested that for her. Apparently, she didn't get it until 25.
So,
would her autobiography be
Here we go.
All Is Well? Question mark.
Oh, well.
Divers in the Baltic Sea came across an unusual find this month as they explored a shipwreck just off the coast of Sweden.
That looks like wine.
Now, according to the Polish diving team, Baltic, quote, we encountered a 19th century sailing ship in very condition, loaded to the sides with champagne, wine, mineral water, and porcelain. Now, the sparkling wine bottles numbered more than 100, they added. They told the New York Times they realized it was some kind of a treasure. The team said they managed to put an approximate date on the bottles after an expert examined the labels on the mineral water and estimated it was produced sometime between 1850 in 1867. They just need to take it to Rick and the guys at Pawn Stars. They can tell you a background. Yeah. What do you think they give you for a bottle of that wine?
Listen, I don't know much about sunken treasure wine, but I do have a friend that's right down the street that knows everything about it. And I'm going to get him.
Let's hop in the truck and ride down there real quick.
Now, here's the interesting thing. A spokesperson told Business Insider they're, quote, almost sure the wine is Louis Roederer champagne. They said they've contacted the company to try to confirm if and when the wine is brought to the service. Next step, they're trying to figure out if you can still drink the wine.
I wouldn't drink it for $1 million.
Now, when they examined the bottles on the dive, they said there were still bubbles inside. They told the New York Times, quote, "It came to me, perhaps still drinkable. As old as the wine is, that's not as likely as it sounds." Experts told Business Insider that in the right conditions, some champagne can last generations.
This is more than generations, though. This is, I wouldn't drink it.
Well, we just had a story about sailors getting really sick drinking something out of the ocean. I think I'd pass, too.
Me too. I don't think
finally, shower thoughts.
Okay.
Very true here. Vapes rarely seen in movies, only cigarettes.
That's true. I mean, but moving forward, I mean, do they do vapes in new movies?
No, I think the cigarette's still the standard of a stressful guy solving a case. You want to hit a vape.
It seems like it's easier to do the prop vape than the prop cigarette, right?
Well, I mean, Ubers are such a big part of movies now.
Yeah. I think I'd go vape.
You would think vapes would be in them.
Yeah.
I can't believe I saw, what was the movie the other night? And it said rated R for language and smoking.
Well,
so will smoking just in itself get you a R rating?
I will tell you this. On TikTok, if you've got a video of somebody smoking, they have to blur out the cigarette.
So
no joke. Like if you see an old Mad Men, like one of my algorithms is Mad Men cuts, and they smoke all the time in that show. And like every Don Draper standing there in his hands
weird
blurred out.
because, so TikTok has since been sold from China, right?
Oh, did somebody buy it?
I think it's in the process.
Okay, in the process. Well, I was just going to say, I mean, I think the Chinese,
they smoke all the time.
They love you to smoke for population control.
That's right. Yeah.
Another shower thought. If you're rich enough, parking tickets or just how much it costs to park there.
That is a good thought. Well, at some point, did they...
What's $15 to me? Doesn't matter to me. I'm worth millions.
I mean, if you're getting a parking ticket, you're not getting towed, but if you're getting a parking ticket, that's $15, or parking in a parking spot is going to cost you $20 for the day, you actually are saving money.
That's true.
I went through a toll, and I don't even know what part of Florida it was. I think maybe when we went to Miramar, did we go through a toll?
Me too.
Yeah.
I got a ticket sent to me.
Yeah.
And I paid. I remember scraping all the quarters out and paying. And so they've sent me, they're like, you didn't pay, you owe. It was like $4. And out of principle, I was like, I'm not going to pay you $4. So I called them. They said, we'll do a review, send us the information, did all this pain in the ass for $4. They sent me back, not approved. You still owe now $6. And I just let it go. So I don't know what's going to happen.
You're going to lose your license. But there's one.
They have nothing. There's no affiliation with law enforcement.
There's one that you can't even throw change in, LT. That
It's pay by plate.
It's pay by plate.
Right there before you get
through it.
Yeah, before you get to Niceville, near Eglin, where it's the cutover. You didn't use that?
I didn't do that. I paid.
No, but there's two.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I stopped, talked to the lady, and I put my money.
That's only one of them. That's the bridge.
One of them.
But I'm saying I should be clear.
No, but I'm saying you might have used the one that's pay by plate. Is what I'm saying. Are they saying it was absolutely at the bridge toll?
Yeah. So
okay. Well, if they're saying that's where it was, yeah. Because there's one that's pay by plate, and after it opened, I didn't realize it till the first time I got the bill in the mail.
But what can they really do?
I've been told in the past they can suspend your license.
We do it going down to Orlando, like the Orlando Turnpike and everything. They've purposefully removed a lot of the toll booths, and you'll drive through a pay-by-plate and not even realize you're driving through it. There's one sign among a million other signs, and you'll drive through it. So I guarantee you drove through another one and just didn't realize it.
Okay, but that's not
doing it on purpose.
That's not regulated by any law enforcement.
It's the same as paying the toll you put the quarters through.
No, I get that, but I mean these are privately owned.
Yeah.
We know somebody that actually.
I think he has since sold it.
I think he has. I don't know why you would ever sell that. You're talking about residual income.
Oh, my gosh. That's mailbox money right there. Yeah. People ain't...
So I don't know what happens. Maybe I do need to look and see if it was...
We'll turn back the clock to, we'll say 2011. I've got the same bill sitting in my house, my second one, because mine, I went there going and coming, so I got a $4 and a $6 one for some reason. And I gave it to Maggie because she pays the bills. I was like, hey, make sure you pay this because Brown told me you didn't pay it, and they went up. Second round of bills come. Now I owe $8 and $12. So I haven't paid them yet. So let me know what you find out.
My gosh. Tell them what they're up to now.
From 2011 you haven't?
You've never paid them?
No. 2011 is a joke when I didn't pay a ticket in in Arizona.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Mr. Dunaway.
Here's another shower thought. There are spiders and roaches that live in bigger houses than yours.
Wow, they're jealous of them, aren't they? You heard about Ernie, huh? He's got a mansion on the East Coast now.
Oh, you're of the Dunaway roaches.
Here's another shower thought. You can completely destroy your life in less than 10 text messages if you wanted to. I think you can do it less.
God, that is sad to think about. No, you're absolutely
I think
right.
if you sent the right or the wrong, depending on how you're looking at it, text message to the right or wrong person,
Correct.
just one,
Yep.
I think it could bring it down.
Yep.
And the final shower thought, I think this is awesome. Due to coin flips, George Washington still makes crucial decisions to this date.
No, how about
true.
that?
As it tells, yeah. How about that?
More than most modern day presidents.
I mean, he's determining every NFL kickoff. I got it, Jim. That was a good one.
Absolutely. That is Trash, brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right, you can pick up some Slice on the way to talk to our friends at Mortgage Right. Whether you're looking for your final home, first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop for mortgages. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call Birmingham office 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. Unfortunately, over the past year, I've noticed significant hair loss. I asked around, and everyone said call Dr. Beckenstein. He is the absolute best. Dr. B pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration right here in Alabama, and he remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride in treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce quality results. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of hair restoration and cosmetic procedures. He uses that experience and his advanced training to help his patients fully understand his procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316.
Final segment today brought to you by our friends at Odie's. LT?
Odie's Tavern. It's Wednesday night, Rockstar. That means?
No, that's the big one, man. That's the trivia tonight.
Odie's team trivia every Wednesday night. The original location at Crestline. Come out and join us. We'll get started a little after 8 o'clock. Get there early. Enjoy some great food. I'm meeting some friends a couple of hours before trivia tonight, so I'll beat Rocky up there. But come enjoy that great food early from Rodney Davis. Award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches like that Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. 2 locations. The one we'll be at tonight in Crestline. In the newest location in Edgewood, it's Odie's Tavern.
Name that tune constantly for Rockstar with that voice tonight. I promise you that.
Oh, he won't even bring his guitar.
Sorry, guys, can't do it. It became official earlier. I think Hoke was the first one to report at Auburn Live, part of On 3, that the Auburn-Houston series is final, and it will be neutral site. Now, the neutral site in Houston is the Toyota Center, which is like 10 minutes from campus.
Yeah, but the one in Birmingham is going to be...
The neutral site here will be in Birmingham next year. John Rothstein says Bruce Pearl has put together the best non-conference schedule in the history of Auburn basketball. He's in the Maui Invitational. That field includes UConn, North Carolina, and Iowa State, Michigan State, Dayton, Memphis, and Colorado. So you'll play some grouping of those, some combination of those teams. They are at Duke. They play Houston, and they play Purdue in Birmingham.
It is a great schedule.
It is a good out-of-conference schedule for Auburn this year.
Why don't you go good, not great?
Oh, it's a really great. I'm sorry. It's a fantastic out-of-conference schedule, though.
Well, I mean, when Nate Oates does it, it's a great schedule. When Bruce does it, you don't.
It's two really good schedules.
Yeah, it is. I had a friend, my guys, who they're already planning the March Madness trip to Las Vegas again. And I did not go last year, and usually I go every other year. And they were talking about it on the golf course yesterday, and they were like, "Are you in?" And I was like, "Guys, do you realize where we are right now in Alabama and Auburn basketball? I don't think I can tap out of the show NCAA tournament time to take a vacation in Vegas now, because unless we're doing the show in Vegas because of March Madness, we are a basketball state now. And not that we're not a football state too, but our basketball programs are as good as they get.
Yeah, no, you need to plan on leaving Sweet 16, Elite 8, and Final Four open.
Yeah, there is no way that Alabama and Auburn are not in the NCAA tournament this year. So
wow,
and pretty well seeded.
He said it out loud.
Yep.
No way.
There's
they're
no
not
way.
Okay.
I think it's Ben or Kevin. Somebody has texted on. Show us Nico again, quarterback at Tennessee. A lot of people have a suggestion on what he looks like, who he reminds them of. The one we got a couple of is El DeBarge. When were they a music group? 80s?
80s, yeah.
It's like Eric LaSalle.
No. Too much hair.
It's the mustache.
It is.
I think it's the mustache. Yeah, that's the El DeBarge mustache.
Yeah. And
he looks maybe more Color Me Bad. I don't know.
He looks like the Kevin dude from Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Kevin from Backstreet Boys?
Kevin Richardson.
Kevin Richardson.
Give us Kevin Richardson, Backstreet Boys. How quick can we get
Yeah, I mean, the eyebrows 100%.
Yeah. El DeBarge, what was their great love song? They have a hit? Or is that
if we're talking about them, yeah.
Am I thinking about Spandau Ballet?
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Is there a difference between those two?
Members in music.
Oh, here's the guy from Backstreet Boys.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, again, close, but...
No, that's not the Kevin guy. I don't know which Backstreet Boy that is, but... Kevin guy's the one that wears a scarf with the big eyebrows.
The good-looking one.
As Rockstar.
Oh, God. El DeBarge's was Who's Johnny? That was their hit. You remember from Short Circuit? Was it from Short Circuit?
Oh, was it? Ali Sheedy, Steve Gutenberg.
Yeah, Who's Johnny? God, it was a terrible song. How did that become? Yeah, it's from Short Circuit. I cannot believe I just remembered that. That was their hit, man, or his hit.
All right, there you go. That one. That's him.
Yeah, well, that's what Rockstar was talking about. He needs his goatee though.
Yeah, he's growing in. It'll catch up to Nico soon. Camps are open. A lot to get to tomorrow. Auburn opens their camp. EG will be on campus down at Auburn coming up on Friday live in the show. Go back and check her coverage from Tuscaloosa earlier today, and more coming after the news conference that is ongoing in Tuscaloosa right now. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.